Hello everyone, welcome back to the Fast Travel Lounge. You're listening to episode 11. Whoa, one into the double digits, we're doing well. Big show. We've got the Nintendo Direct to discuss, which will be coming up in the news section, but of course we should see who we have around. My name is Patrick. I am once again joined by Seth, Steve, and Josh. Say hi everyone.
Hey everyone.
Hey everyone.
Hi everyone.
There we go, cool. It seems like this might be one of the first weeks that we're not all playing a game that recently came out. Just as a nice, kind of like a breather week, because boy, after the Direct, we definitely have a few of those games coming up.
Yeah, that Direct was something alright. It filled up a lot of the months coming up this year.
Yeah,
Yep.
not even that as well. Elden Ring too.
Yeah, Elden Ring's coming up very soon.
They directly gave us a lot of information.
And the number of, this game is now open for pre-order. Oh, my wallet is going to feel that pinch. First thing that I want to bring up, though, obviously, we are in the middle of the Winter Olympics held in Beijing. I know that you guys probably don't follow it too closely, but there is one story that I wanted to get your opinion on. So the idea of doping in Olympic sports is near and dear to my heart because I, as a proud Kiwi, had to sit back and watch as we got the silver medal back in what would have been the 2008 or 2012 Olympics due to the doping of a Belarusian athlete, I believe, in the shot put. And so Valerie Adams got the silver and then was promoted to gold when the investigation came out. The reason I bring it up is because when you think about shot putters, they're fairly burly, fairly big people. They, if you were to do performance-enhancing drugs, something like shot put would probably be the place to do it because you just stack muscle. But there's a story circulating about the Winter Olympics recently that I found very entertaining, in that the person who got gold in the figure skating competition was accused of performance-enhancing drugs. Did you guys hear about this?
I did not, actually.
I think isn't that the 15-year-old girl?
Yeah, so think about like the most petite people in the Winter Olympics lineup, and how one of them has been accused of using performance-enhancing drugs. I find that to be a hysterical contrast. Obviously, nothing has been confirmed, at least as of recording. We'll have to wait and see. But if you were to pick a sport that you thought about using performance-enhancing drugs for, would figure skating be in any of your top three?
I think it requires way more muscle than you're giving it credit for, to be honest. It wouldn't be in my top three, but I think it would be up there.
I think it's because it's more dexterity as well that Pat's probably so confused by it.
All I'm saying is if you had someone that had min-max strength and someone that had min-max dexterity and you put them both into a figure skating competition, I'd feel pretty safe putting money on the min-max on dexterity. Could be just me.
Well, is it singles figure skating or doubles figure skating? Because that's a big difference.
I believe this was singles. I'm not actually sure. I believe it was singles. And that it was a lovely 15-year-old Russian girl. If the reports are to be believed, which of course everything is alleged, there is an investigation ongoing, but it seems like quite a few places are reporting that. But I believe that was the singles. But no, I just found that rather interesting in the midst of everything else that we have going on. And of course, other thing worth bringing up, I know it's not related to gaming, but we got our first Winter Olympic gold medal. Well done, Zoe. Proud Kiwi moment. Getting the gold in snowboarding. Anyway, that concludes the Winter Olympics chat, but it's topical. Figured I'd bring it up.
Hang on, I thought of something funny. I thought of a Stephen comment to make.
Oh boy.
I thought of something funny is always a good start.
Thank you for announcing it so we can prep.
Yeah.
So they've got figure skating, right? Do you reckon they'll have like amiibo skating? Is that like in the Nintendo Olympics? The Nintendo Olympics, if you would?
Right-click disconnect.
I prefer Nandroid skating.
But those don't give me weird characters in Smash Brothers, do they?
You're talking about Miis, though.
Like amiibos.
Not amiibos.
Amiibos are figures.
I guess.
So it'd be like amiibo skating.
You're reaching and it's not going anywhere.
Maybe I should have stretched more and become more of like a figure skater then. Or a gymnast.
Maybe you should have doped.
Oh, maybe I should be on performance-enhancing drugs. Can we cut this part out, please?
You announced it, now you live with it.
If anyone has performance-enhancing drugs they'd like to give to Stephen, we will pay you to help sort this problem for us. It did remind me though. I don't know which one it was. I think it was the original Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games, the one based on 2008 Olympics. But did anyone else lose a Nintendo DS screen to play in that game?
I played the Wii version.
I played it on the Wii like a regular.
Yeah, I had the Wii version
yeah.
as well. How good.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing using a Wii remote didn't destroy your screens at all?
Not the screens. I destroyed so many nunchucks though. Those joysticks did not hold up when you were spinning them round and round and round.
So it sounds like you guys obeyed the instructions and put the wrist strap on.
Yeah, and I even had like the first wrist strap, the one that didn't like snap in.
Yeah, the ones that they just sort of sat there. Yeah, they were terrible.
So fucking dangerous.
I didn't. I just had a good grip.
Sounds like you are playing with fire, Seth.
Do you guys remember the iToy?
Yeah.
Oh,
If you-
man.
okay, if you broke a screen by using an iToy, I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, you had to use an iToy on the PlayStation 3 so you could use the PlayStation Move.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was tracking the light bulbs at the top of the Move controllers.
Oh, wild.
So there's this other invention called the Kinect, right? Is that still going good? Are people still using that?
They are, but not for games.
I heard the racing game was excellent. So good that you don't even have to play it yourself. You can start the race and then walk away, get a cup of coffee, come back, and you've won.
The Kinect killed the Sonic Riders series, so I will forever hate it.
Yeah, we don't talk about that. Or the
I
Fable
talk
series,
about that.
or the Dragon Ball Z Kinect game, or the Star Wars Kinect game.
The Han Solo song will always live rent free in my head.
Wasn't there it was like a Just Dance thing or something that had...
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
where the
that's
Han
it.
Solo song
Yeah.
came from.
God, that's right.
Yeah,
Man.
that's a banger and a half.
I should also, while I remember it, correct something that I said incorrectly on last week's show. When we were talking about the Doom soundtrack, I got a bit muddled between what it was that, already forgot. It's Mick Gordon? Please tell me it was Mick Gordon.
Yeah, Mick Gordon.
Saved it. I got a bit muddled between what it was that Mick Gordon was told he could and couldn't do with the Doom soundtrack. I was trying to make the connection that it was some sort of dubstep thing he was trying to make. It was actually just a lack of guitars that he was able to use. And so he initially complied and then slowly just added more and more guitars anyway. And we wound up with the Doom soundtrack. So apologies for everyone that listened to that and went, oh, he's so close but so wrong, because I have been in that position from both sides, and it is annoying. So hopefully that clears the air.
I mean, you were fairly close anyway because you were kind of on the money with the whole dubstep versus metal thing. It's more about the instruments rather than the genre.
Yeah.
But also, his reasoning for doing that was that he said that guitars were like very influential to the original Doom's soundtrack, so he wanted to have them in the game anyway. It's just he had to go around the developers' back to do it.
And we are all better for it. So, what's been happening? Any crazy developments that you guys want to share? Any tech updates? Because that seems to be the main segment we've been doing before around the lounge.
How's the computer, Josh? Is it working again?
It seems to be working, but if I talk about it, then it will explode. So let's not do that.
We don't want to make it angry.
Don't give it any funny looks.
But no, it's running. Nice, cool 38 degrees at the moment. So I had to get the other water cooler and change it, which I think I was talking about last week. But I changed it all, and to get like the refund for this one, I had to like cut the other one open, and like it's genuinely water cooling inside it. Like it's not like, I thought it would be like a coolant or something, but it's literally just water, which surprised me. I genuinely thought it would be coolant or something. But yeah.
Oh, you just said it's just water. It's probably fine.
I didn't taste it. I did.
Computer juice.
If it's just water, why don't you drink it?
Yeah, it's just been in the
running through
system.
my system for like the better part of a year.
You'll be
I'm not gonna drink it.
You'll be never closer to your
It's a
system than you
closed
would by
loop
drinking
system.
that water.
So, no,
Give me
no.
that Gamer Girl PC water.
What?
You know what? If I still had it, I would jar it up and I'd send it to you, mate. But I don't. It's down the sink.
Wait, is that the performance-enhancing drugs?
Yeah, it's doping for e-gamers.
Doping for e-gamers is just staying hydrated. Crazy. Or
Shot of water every 40 minutes.
or if you're a professional Smash player, a shower.
Smash players don't shower.
Yeah, that's why it's performance-enhancing.
Ah, I see.
You stand to be in the same room with them.
Yeah. All right, so on to Round the Lounge then, I guess. Shall we start with Steve? What's your week looking like? What are you gonna bring to us for show and tell?
For show and tell, I've been playing a bit of Control because that leaves Game Pass very soon, so I'm trying to squeeze that in, and that's put me right in direct control of that, if you would like the pun.
I really don't, but I'll have to allow it. Continue.
And Pokemon Legends Arceus as well.
Well, sorry, what? And Pokemon?
Legends Arceus.
Oh, sorry, Legends : Arceus?
Well, technically, I actually think it's
Colon
pronounced
Arceus.
Arceus now. But I'll bring up that discussion a bit later.
Oh, okay. Can't,
So the
can't wait to
colon's
learn
actually-
how to pronounce it.
The colon's actually like a symbol. You don't pronounce it.
Wait, the large or the small one?
So they're both one. Like it's both
Oh,
one.
man. Okay, because that packaging was not helping me figure out how to insert it in my house. Sorry, I can't do that joke. We're just gonna move on. Josh, what's your week been looking like?
Not much. I've been pretty sick for most of the week, so I haven't really done much. But I played a couple of hours of Control so that Stephen and I could talk about it, and it's very good so far. But we'll get into it. Just before recording, Lost Ark has pretty much come out. I think there's like 10 hours left or something, so I decided to bid it up and give it a go. That's pretty good so far, so I can talk a little bit about that. And then I played a little bit of an MMO from like 2007 that's like I had to do all sorts of capability settings to run, and there's like 6 people playing it. So I'll talk very briefly about that just to have something else to talk about, but we won't get too far into that.
Can we get a taste? Do we know what the title is?
Redstone Online.
Oh boy.
No one would have ever heard of it.
Isn't that the stuff in Minecraft?
Yeah, I know. This predates Minecraft. That's how old it is.
Crazy. And Seth, lucky lost.
So, I played this a few weeks back, but I'll talk about Spider-Man Miles Morales. I got the platinum in that. I finished up Pokemon Legends Arceus. Did a lot of fun.
Sorry, what?
Oh, sorry. Pokemon Legends Arceus.
Oh, okay. I thought they did a separate. That would have been crazy if they just had an entire other game. But Legend Arceus. Okay, yeah. Gotcha.
You see, this is how they usually do the trade exclusives. So we got Pokemon Legends Arceus and
Pokemon Legends Arceus.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Wouldn't it just be
What if they
Pokemon
just
Legends :
Yeah.
Something,
Excellent.
something
It's a new
about beating a
legendary.
dead horse now, right, fellas?
Nah, it's still funny to me.
You made such a song and dance about it that it's like every time I have to reiterate it, I feel like you cringe a little inside, and I live for that feeling.
I told you,
Anytime
edit
we
it
can
out.
get Stephen back for his jokes. It's the good day.
You know, the funny thing about asking me to edit things out is that I'm the editor and I get to choose who does that.
I should also say up front that speaking of just quickly jumping back to you feeling a bit sick, Josh, I had my COVID booster shot today, so if I randomly stop responding during recording this, that'll probably be why.
Oh God. Here we go.
Oh, see, I got mine next Wednesday, so watch out for next week's podcast.
God, I need to get mine next week as well.
Are you feeling faster? Gotta go fast.
How's that 5G plus?
Oh, it's pretty good. They finally switched from Windows to Linux. Took them long enough. I think it's an improvement, honestly.
Yeah, they completely changed the kernel inside your brain.
I can now hear color. It's pretty good.
Going from the Switch to the Stream Deck. To round out my week as well, I also got together with my static group to play Final Fantasy 14, and I want to roll right into this. New York Times has owned Wordle for less than a day, and they already killed it.
Okay, I guess we're rolling into that. You want to tell us a bit more about that, Seth?
So it's not. It seems like it's about maybe 20% of players, maybe a bit less. But once the New York Times changed Wordle over to their servers, it just completely wiped certain people's statistics. In fact, while I'm on it now, if I refresh the page, it doesn't even save that I finished a word, so I can keep typing in today's word and keep going, oh, hey, look, I got it in one guess.
That's really strange. Mine, I thought mine had wiped this morning, but when I opened it up, it had reset. It wasn't on hard mode, and it was in the light mode, but when I finished the word today, all my statistics were still there. So I got half a wipe, which is really strange.
Yeah, it wiped me out as well. I'm on a 1-day streak now, as opposed to whatever the other streak was.
I can't even get a 1-day streak because if I refresh the page, so I can get the new word for tomorrow, it'll just reset me back to 0.
That's crazy. I guess they just kept the top 1,000 player scores then, because I mean my stats haven't been taken down at all. So I've still got my 32 streak, 100% win rate. Oh,
yeah, I've got
sorry,
300%.
Sorry, didn't mean to flex too hard there, but
You're not even the top in the 4 of us, mate. So calm down.
Yeah, I was on a 27 or 29 win streak. If it wasn't for the fact that I was posting my results in Discord and also on Twitter, then I would have just given up on Wordle right here, right now.
Yeah,
well, it's funny
a
that you
shame.
say that, because in the group chat that of course we're all a part of,
It's a group chat?
except oh yeah, so,
Damn it, you outed us.
damn it, yeah, sorry about that. Steve, we'll have that chat offline. But I noticed that a couple of you guys have been playing Wordle 2, and obviously there have been a bunch of clones for Wordle, like Loodle and I don't know, like Letteral, any bloody variant that you can think of as, it's not even a cash grab because they're all for free, but any just trying to jump on the hype train type clones. But it seems like you guys have actually stuck at Wordle 2 a little bit. How have you guys been finding that? And can you describe what the differences between Wordle 2 and Wordle 1 are?
I played it for 2 words and I stopped. So
Wordle 2 is the same thing as Wordle, except it's 6-letter words now instead of 5-letter words.
Do you find that to be much harder?
It's I wouldn't say harder, but more evil. Like, I think the first word I got was bottom, so you're getting a 6-letter word, but it's 4 letters being used in that word.
And you still have 6 guesses, right?
Yeah, you still get 6 guesses. They didn't up it. But this website's kept my stats, so I enjoy it a lot more than Wordle now.
So it's now better than Wordle.
I'm also on a 100% win streak right now with 9 games played.
Oh, yo.
it was actually pretty good.
It
Good on you.
also resets every 12 hours, not 24.
Yes, that's also very important. You get 2 words a day because it refreshes at noon and midnight.
It's the sequel that we all wanted.
I think not having it every day kind of kills it for me, to be honest. If it was once every 24 hours, I probably would have done it. But like twice a day is a commitment I'm not ready for.
Fair enough. I know that before we recorded this, I actually ended up poking around trying to see if I could figure out where it was sending my info to and why my stats weren't some of those that were reset. And boy howdy, the amount of New York Times crap that's now being sent whenever you load Wordle, it's sad. It's sad to see the number of subscriber fields in the info that's being sent, so I'm expecting that Wordle 1 might be in for some changes soon. But hope I'm wrong, but I'm nervous.
Do they know that you don't live in New York? So shouldn't they be sending like New Zealand time?
All right, that silence is enough.
A little bit too long for my liking, fellas, but
it really had to sink in.
One day you'll learn, and then this will all be worth it.
I don't think
Crazy thing is, I'm 2 hours ahead of you guys, and I still didn't see that coming.
even with the booster, you're not fast enough.
I need to go back for a second one tomorrow. Seth, any other comments to talk about Wordle? Or okay, so I guess the one final thing. What could they do to get you to come back to Wordle?
Reset my stats and don't make it a sub.
Fair enough. What if they did paid DLC?
Paid DLC.
What would they even do? Add more words to the library?
Yeah, add more words. Yeah. It'd be
There's
like
2,400 words. So.
Yeah, it'd be like WordPass DLC. They'd come in like 8 waves and they'd charge you a fee, or you could get it for free with a New York Times subscription.
I hate this so much.
So you wouldn't be a fan of that?
Because when it comes to that, I'm just going to pay for the flat DLC price instead of the sub.
What about you, Josh and Steve? Same position, or?
I'll keep playing it until my stats die or the subscription comes in probably, and then I'll just stop. I'll find another puzzle game. I used to play a lot of Sudoku. Maybe I'll pick that back up.
Well, if you get the subscription, there's also the New York Times Sudoku.
And the crossword. Don't forget the New York Times crossword.
But I could just do any other crossword or Sudoku for free. Like, I'll buy a book for like $1.
Yeah, you can buy one of those.
Could you imagine like pirating Wordle once it goes behind a paywall?
Finds it on like Pirate Bay.
Black market Wordle.
Because it came up, I quickly want to highlight that the New York Times actually did something funny with their crossword game, where the word that was going horizontal was the better of these two sci-fi shows or media, and both Star Wars and Star Trek fit the bill with the words that were going vertically across it.
Ah, interesting.
Oh, I see. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, so you could fill in the words that were going vertically next to the Wars or Trek, and it would fill those letters in, and it would still be the right answer.
That's strange. Firefly didn't fit, but it's clearly the better.
Very interesting indeed. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens with Wordle and the paywall. Yeah, it's gonna suck, 'cause it'll be a daily routine for a lot of people that will end up changing. If you had to give it a score out of 10, Seth, what would you give it?
It is after New York Times ruined it for me, it is now a 3 out of 10.
Ooh.
What was it before?
It was like a 10 out of 10 because it was really fun and engaging to do every morning.
And the graphics were still better than Pokemon Legends Colon Arceus.
They were, which isn't a very high bar to be fair.
Must be an N64 game.
Yeah.
N64
Man,
is
N64,
reaching.
that's kind of generous. I'd even put it down to PS1.
Anti-aliasing on N64 ROM. There you go. Pokemon Legends Arceus. You're just actually playing an XD Gale of Darkness remake and you didn't know.
No, that's a good game. Let's talk about that.
You know what? Put it on the docket for us, and I'll play it.
Yeah, I'll play it if we.
There's a ROM hack called Pokemon XG, and the XG stands for Next Generation. Everyone go play it.
Like Star Trek.
What's a Star Trek?
What's a Star Trek?
Is that the worst of the two sci-fi series?
Yes.
Do we have any Trekkies? Write in if you're a Trekkie. Quick poll.
Right in Klingon.
So I guess we're done with the Wordle chat. Totally fine. Seth, what else was on your list? You wanna chat Final Fantasy or chat Spodeman?
I'll go Final Fantasy first because I feel like that'll be the shorter of the two.
Fair enough. Still a good game.
Still a very good game.
Excellent. So Spider-Man.
Fuck you, Pat. I'm talking about Final Fantasy. So this past weekend, I got together with my static group to play through some older content, but we're unsyncing some level 80 content, which was the last expansion. Even at max level, where you're level 90 and going into these level 80 fights, you still got to pay attention to mechanics and try not to die. It'd help if I talked about what we actually went into. We did Eden 4 Savage, which is a fight against a new version of Titan, which Josh would know is a Realm Reborn boss fight as well. Very early game.
I know there's a new version of Titan. Here we go.
Yeah, don't worry, it's not that big of a spoiler because it's side content. Yeah, so this new version has the arena is split into 4x4 grids, and you have to pay attention to those grids because you get two different debuffs during the fight. You'll either get a yellow marker over your head or an orange marker. An orange marker means that everyone has to stack together on top of that, and yellow markers is everyone has to spread out on separate grids. And if you get that wrong, you're dead.
Is that only in Savage?
That's only in the Savage version, yeah.
Okay, I would hate to queue for that. My god.
Yeah, no, I do not queue for Savage stuff. I only play Savage stuff with my static. Also, we did 11 clears of that because every clear is a guaranteed mount drop. So it took us about an hour to learn how to do the fight, and then after we learnt it, we just ran through it so many times to make sure that everyone got the mount, and we didn't have to do it again. And now we're planning to do that again this weekend, but with the updated Shiva fight.
Oh, now I know there's an updated Shiva fight. Oh, here we go.
You know what?
Updated all of the original ones in Realm Reborn then, I guess.
They did, but I won't spoil the one that I think is really, really cool.
Ravana.
He's having
okay, so he might spoil the one that's really, really cool.
Yeah.
Got it.
The one that's really, really cool. So now I know there's a really, really cool one. Oh.
You know what? 14 has a lot of really, really cool stuff.
No, it does. It's a good game.
Yeah, but yeah, that fight was really intense. It's even with the 4x4 grid, you gotta be spatially aware of everything that's going on in the fight. There's some mechanics that so we were going through a video to learn how to do the fight, and just watching and trying to explain the mechanics to people is super confusing going into it. And you just kind of have to die to the mechanic 2 or 3 times before you really understand what's going on.
How does that feel fair though? It feels like you just have to die until you get it.
Well, you don't if you get it fast enough.
But how long does it take you to do this before you get there and you die? Then you have to redo it.
Each run is a clear run is 10 minutes.
Oh, it's nothing. Okay, I thought you put in 40 minutes only to be all right, well, you weren't good enough, boys. Restart.
Nah.
No,
So
that's OG WoW stuff instead.
Yeah, so it's the way we handle it is slowly going up. So oh hey, we survived 2 minutes into the fight. Let's take a little breather, talk about what happened. Then oh hey, we pushed into the 5-minute mark. Look at us go.
I love the idea that you're going to get out of 5 minutes in this boss fight, and you're going to have someone that you just call coach. He's just some old guy you have around that he just comes over with a clipboard, and he just kind of tells you the play. And you're like, all right, so you were close, but we need more synergy and other buzzwords. And then at the end of it, when you finally beat him, you just have this giant vat of I don't know, Gatorade, whatever the hell they use at sports, and you just dump it over the old guy. Is that kind of how this goes?
You can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a mechanic.
You see, our old guy named Coach is just Rama, and we're going to have to fight him later.
Named Brahma. Oh god. Does something wrong, immediately shocked by lightning.
Yeah. Oh man, updated drama is also very cool.
Final Fantasy jokes here. Steph's not gonna get it. I mean, not Steph. Steven's not gonna get it.
It'll come to Xbox, and I can talk about it in 12 months.
In 12 months. It's been out for like 10 years.
Any day now, right next to Temtem.
Yeah, right next to it's the
Can we
same
get a
launch
Temtem
window.
update, please?
But yeah, the reason we did this 11 times, by the way, is because the mounts that you get from this is like the first free 4-person mount in the game. So, well, not the first free one, but the last one was an event one where you got the car from Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah, I was gonna say the last you say the last 4-person mount. So you're describing a car.
Yeah. It's it was literally the car from Final Fantasy 15 as a mount in the game, and you could have 4 players in there.
Yo,
Mwah, fantastic. That's great.
Except this one's actually useful.
Yeah, this one's actually useful because you can take off, not crash into the side of the mountain, and get a game over.
You don't have to watch it drive for 15 minutes and go, wow, look at this gameplay.
But then you can put on like the soundtrack from the first couple of Final Fantasies, and then you're vibing
Yeah,
with
but
the
I
boys.
can do that and play a good game and play the first Final Fantasy, so why would I play 15?
I can do that while playing Final Fantasy 14.
Exactly.
But you can't play Final Fantasy 14 on the Xbox.
That sounds like a you problem.
Yeah, one day.
The regalia mount was only during specific moments when the 15 event was running. They ran it twice now, like once for the original time and once as a replay before Endwalker came out. And so this Titan fight is the only way you can get another 4-person mount at the moment that isn't paid currency.
Is it a car?
It actually is, yeah.
Oh, that's sick.
It's
Titan
like
car would be
it's
awesome.
it's a hovering just a hovermobile really.
I want a hoverboard mount. That'd be awesome.
That'd also be really sick. Also, before we did the Titan mount, we also did treasure maps, which is just every week you can get for free a treasure map from doing your weeklies across the game. And so we just round up everyone from the static, do that for a little bit, and just run through those, try and make some money off them. But if you're lucky, you'll get a portal, and you'll go into an instanced area. Once you're in the instanced area, there's this really cool thing where, like, as you're moving between platforms, you'll just spawn angel wings and start flying around everywhere. And now a few people in the static want those angel wings as a mount.
Cool.
So you keep saying static. Is it like just like a group of friends that you play with, or does static actually mean something in Final Fantasy?
Static is just a group of friends that you play with, but in MMO terms, it's like this group of people that get together to do content together.
Static means it doesn't change.
Yeah. Basically.
Thanks, Josh. I'll be sure to come to you with other random, very obvious words that I need help with in the future. Cheers.
Like Kanga.
Man. Still haven't used that as an opening word for Wordle, but man, what a
No,
good...
I need to.
I use it as an opening word for the Australian Wordle.
I didn't. Shit. Didn't help me at all.
It's double A's and it's a K and a G. They're not exactly the most common letters in
Yeah.
a 5-letter word.
So there's challenge mode and then there's Kanga mode.
Well, that would have helped like a million years ago when the word was null.
Yeah, that's true. It would have. Although I still would have struggled to get.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm not gonna lie.
What a fuck word.
But yeah, to wrap up 14, excellent game. Everyone go play it. Even you, Steve, like, make it run on your laptop.
It won't run on his laptop. There's no way.
Yeah.
Make it run on your laptop.
I'll give my
Okay,
laptop a
quick.
booster. Then it'll run.
Give it some of that performance-enhancing hydration from Josh.
Did I mention that it has a free trial that goes up to level 60?
Critically acclaimed, I hear.
Yeah.
I didn't think I could buy it anymore.
To
You can.
any
That's my excuse.
to any
Yeah.
listeners that if any listeners want more of us shilling Final Fantasy 14, they just have to look at any other episode we've done.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sam.
Be back next week for another weekly update.
Yeah, no, that's cool. It did bring up a question though. Just before you move to the next piece of your week, what is the most like just whack thing that you've heard or you personally have done to get a game running on a machine of yours? Like, what is the thing that, like, you know that you've just removed your ability to get into heaven by committing an unforgivable sin to make some game run, either on
We'll
a
talk about
console
Redstone Online
or...
later.
Yeah, okay, so Josh's answer's coming soon, but Steve and Seth, either yourself or someone that you know.
The only thing that's coming to mind at the moment is that I had to try and boot my computer into a classic Windows mode to try and get the Apes Odyssey games to run, and they still wouldn't run on my laptop.
Yeah, I can't even really remember. I think it was like 2 laptops ago. I was playing like Civilization 5, and it was like the desk I was sitting on had like a lot of heating problems, so it wouldn't cool down, and it was like summer. So what I did was I got like 2 textbooks, and I stood my laptop up so there was a bit of airflow. And then I had another fan going up, so there was more airflow because it kept cutting out because of the heat. And then, but because I didn't have any HDMI cords to hook it up to my my TV, I just sort of had to use it as a weird standing desk.
I'm going to tell you now, hooking up the HDMI would have just made it run even hotter.
Yeah, but it was like not very comfortable trying to play Civilization 5, and it's like 100 turns, and my feet are just hurting. I just want to sit down.
Yeah.
100 turns, that's a very short game of Civ.
Well, that was just when I got tired, and I'm like, nah, can't do it, fellas. Legs hurt.
When I was using a laptop to play games as well, I had a calling mat underneath it, like one of those pads that have a fan inside it.
Yeah, I probably should get one of those.
Yeah, you really should. They're excellent. Just buy a decent one, and you'll be fine.
How much are they? Like a couple bucks?
Like $20.
Oh,
Yeah,
If that.
a decent one's probably like closer to 30, 35.
okay, that's a lot cheaper than what I thought.
That'd be top end, yeah. That'd be like paying too much for it, to be honest.
I'll think about it. Maybe I'll just play it in the fridge or something.
You go to like you go to open the fridge to get some like dinner out or whatever, and it's just your laptop in there on turn 52 of Civ 5.
Using TeamViewer to control it from a phone.
Quick, close the door, you're letting the heat in.
Go back to the Macca's you used to work at, go, oh, hey, everyone, and you just walk into the walk-in freezers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, with your laptop.
So, Steve,
Government, they have a server room to see if you can stick your laptop in there and hook it into the network. I'm sure they'll be fine.
it'll be
Yeah,
fine.
nice.
I'll play it on the Macca's TVs.
So the craziest thing I had to do was that at one stage when I was a poor student living in a flat, I bought a sort of like mid-range, not too expensive Wi-Fi card playing on a desktop. So bought a Wi-Fi card, stuck it in the back, but where the PCI Express port is that I needed to use was right below the 1080 Ti that I went without food for a month to afford. And I found out...
Using.
Yeah, that I'm still using. And I found out that after playing for like an hour, any game that would use an internet connection, it would start just lagging really hard. And I couldn't figure out what it was. And then I finally figured out that the 1080 Ti eventually just starts cooking the Wi-Fi card.
Shit.
So the solution to it was to buy a 20-meter Ethernet cable and then just piss off every flatmate by running it around every door frame between my room and the router.
They make USB Wi-Fi cards. You could have just used one.
Pat, I do that exact thing. I've got like a 30-meter Ethernet cable that I've got running just through the house.
It's shockingly cheap. Like it costs a couple bucks for the ends, and then it's just like $1 a meter. It's great.
Yeah,
but
$1 meter is expensive. Yeah.
The most fucked thing that a friend of mine had to do. This is back in high school now. He was a big League of Legends guy, and he was also a big being a poor high school student guy, and so he couldn't even run League of Legends on a laptop. And League of Legends, for anyone that's played it, runs on pretty much anything. It's actually fairly well optimized.
It's now on
and
phones.
so instead of like, I like the inventiveness of your solution, Steve, of just getting some nice airflow going, couple of textbooks to put some thermal insulation between it. Nah, he just got like a bag of frozen vegetables and just put the laptop on top of that. And then just played his League of Legends games, and then eventually just had to rotate the frozen vegetable bags when they got too warm.
When they get cooked.
Yeah.
At least he has a snack.
Oh yeah. Gotta stay healthy while you're climbing the ranks.
Healthy treat. Brain food. Man,
Like
that's
League of Legends players at all.
man, that's
Oh,
that's
No,
cool.
it's cool. Yeah, literally. Anyways, Seth, next thing up on your list would be Spider-Man. No?
You don't want to hear what I've done?
Oh, I thought you'd gone. I thought you said that you couldn't think of much.
Well, no. I mean, Redstone Online is definitely one of them. So to play it this week, I had to get rid of Windows 11 off my computer and install Windows 10, set it in capability mode for Windows XP, run it as an admin on both the shortcut, the exe file, and on GameGuard, which is the antivirus. Disable some kind of memory security that Windows 10 has. What was the other thing I had to do for it? Oh, it doesn't work if I have more than one screen connected to my computer. And
What?
Yeah, it's really fucked. And there was something else. I had to disable virtualization support in my motherboard. And then
Wait, disable virtualization.
disable it, yeah, because it was fucking with it. Makes it lag. And there was something else wrong with it too. I don't remember what else. Oh, you had to roll back the language packs that are built into Windows 10 for Korean because the game's in mostly Korean. So yeah,
Okay,
that's just this week.
Oh man, do you want to expand on any of those points now, or touch them when it comes to you chatting about it later?
No, we'll just chat about it later. But I wanted to bring that up while we were in there, and then I guess I obviously had some very interesting setups when I was building my first PC, and including like drilling my own holes in a case to mount a cooler that I thought would fit that didn't fit.
Oh, see, I just did the opposite. I reasoned very rationally that why would I spend $100 on a case when I could just leave all the computer parts on the floor?
Oh, see,
Yeah,
I've built computers like that and left them running like that for ages. There was a post I saw, because I'm in like a lot of tech groups on Facebook earlier today, where the guys like show us your setups, and the guy's like opening a drawer, and it's just a computer running, just all the parts sitting in a drawer with the cables running everywhere all over each other and everything. And I was like, oh my god.
I think
That's
my
kinda
favorite
cool.
one of those is that someone's just put everything against a wall and like made a wall decoration out of their computer parts that are running
Yeah,
all
like
the
cool.
time.
some of those like real bare caseless setups, like there's a common one of like, putting it in like a glass top desk and stuff. Like some of them, if you do it right, looks really cool. But if you do like there's a photo you can find of XQC's setup like while he was like, while he was being a big Twitch streamer. I think he's upgraded his computer since, but just the most like, it's just like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like a pile of computer components. If that, like whatever mental image you have of a pile of computer components, it's that running a setup that he was streaming on Twitch with. It was something else.
There was a very famous picture, which I'll bring up before we move on, of this guy basically disassembled his laptop. And he put it inside a pizza box with the grease and cheese all over it. Like put the motherboard in there, attached the screen with like cable ties to the top of the pizza box and stuff. And he's like, "Look, now it's more portable and it gets more cooling." And they're like, "What do you mean?" And he posted it on some like image thread. It might have been 4chan or something, but it was going around the internet for ages. And he did it so that he could like point fans at it so it would stay cool, so he could play games. Oh, it's excellent.
If it works, it works.
If it
Yeah,
works, yeah.
fantastic. Right. Any other comments to that, Josh, or shall we throw it back to Spider-Man? Spider-Man away, Seth.
Okay, so the first Spider-Man game on PS4, I really love. It's like a 9 out of 10 for me. And Miles Morales is like kind of a mix in quality of being better in some areas and worse in others. Starting off, it's a much shorter game, which I don't mind. I actually kind of hope that more developers do this between major games where they do like a smaller projects. That's definitely them testing grounds with some game design elements, but also just to put something out cheaper that like isn't going to break them in the terms of development time and budget. But yeah, in cases where this is better, I think they made the combat in this a lot more interesting. The first Spider-Man game is focused around basically Peter's just abilities of like his acrobatic abilities and some of his gadgets, while with Miles, because he has these Venom abilities, and yeah, Venom is kind of a dumb name when there's a villain named Venom in this series.
So they're unrelated.
Yeah, they're unrelated. The Venom for Miles is bioelectricity abilities, and it's named that. The game makes a pretty funny joke in that they call it Venom because it stings.
That's dumb. Why would they do
Yeah,
that?
that's dumb.
I hate that.
The game's
You're right.
the
That was a
game's-
funny joke. Ha 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 ha.
It's a very Steve Core joke, but it landed
No,
when I
no.
played the game.
You've got in the notes to blame Michael Bendis. Where is he so I can kick him in the ribs?
They've
So
been bending the jokes too much.
Michael Bendis is the comic writer that named it this ability Venom when Miles Morales was doing his original comic run debut. So yeah, blame him for the very bad name. The game was just making a joke at the name's expense. But yeah, all these Venom abilities like really highlight the combat and elevate it in a really fun way. So you get things that you got just a regular Venom punch ability that just stuns people, but you also have things like dive bombing at enemies, doing good massive ground pounds, and launching them higher into the air, and just weaving these into the combat is a lot of fun.
That's cool.
They also improved the swinging animations. So, Peter in the PS4 game, he's been at this for like 6 to 8 years, I think. So he's very refined. His animations are all like very like it shows that he's minimal. He's straight to the point. He knows what he's doing, and he's very good at what he does.
He's efficient, you mean?
Yeah, efficient. That's the good word to use.
You're welcome.
Meanwhile, Miles, he's been at this for like 6 months, and he's a lot more showboaty, but also clumsy in some aspects. So he'll do things where he's like spinning around, and then as he's swinging while spinning, he just keeps that spin going while trying to make it look like he's doing it on purpose and being cool. But also something that I love when they let you do this is that if you hold the trick buttons while you're landing, instead of like making it a nice land, because you're trying to hold on to it, he'll just eat shit and face plant the ground.
Perfect.
That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah. And all the new trick animations are fantastic as well, and there's different variations for them. They also kind of made it Tony Hawkish, where chaining things will give different tricks. So they vastly improved the trick system in this game.
Do you have to find the five skate letters around New York?
No, but there are some swinging missions where you have to try and beat Peter's time across different racetracks.
Every time you say Peter, I think Peter Griffin.
Are there hidden tapes? I feel like hidden tapes would actually be a Spider-Man thing.
Not hidden tapes, but like hidden backpacks.
Just another name for it.
Take it, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, just a different name.
Collect all the feathers, right?
Backpacks are just tapes you can't play.
What, you put the tapes... you put tapes in the backpack.
God, actually, speaking of backpacks for the game though, there's a blah blah blah. There's a costume you get in New Game Plus.
Leaving that in.
Yeah, leaving that. There's a costume you get in New Game Plus that is just Miles' regular Spider-Man costume, but he's wearing a really downtrodden hoodie and a backpack. But inside the backpack is a cat also named Spider-Man wearing a spider mask. And
what?
And while you do these special takedown animations, every now and then the cat will jump out and join you in beating up enemies, making this game the coveted 5 out of 7.
Amazing. So it's like Nugget from Thingy.
If you are holding a trick and you have the cat in the backpack, if you eat shit, what happens to the cat?
The cat's just in the bag, fine.
Oh, thank God.
It's not like that Walking Dead game where you have to like kill that dog at the start. I restarted that game and tried every single fucking possible way. Oh my God. That broke me, that game. So how does it compare to Spider-Man the movie, the game?
You mean the game based on the movie based on the game?
Are we talking about Spider-Man 1, Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 3, The Amazing Spider-Man, or The Amazing Spider-Man 2?
Spider-Man like 2000 movie. 2003.
The 2000 game? This is way better than that.
I don't know, man. It was pretty great. That was made by Treyarch, you know.
Spider-Man 3 on the PS3 was actually a really good game.
I played it on the PS2, and apparently the PS2 version has cut content that wasn't in the PS3 version.
Interesting.
PS2 superior console. Confirmed.
But yeah, I really liked the Spider-Man 3 game as well, and apparently a lot of people hated that one.
Interesting. Because it was something really simple, but it was like you use R2 to shoot with your right hand, with your right arm, L2 to shoot with your left arm, and then if you put both, you do like the double swing. It was real simple. It was real simple, but it was just a nice touch. And the whole day-night thing, like, yeah, the graphics nowadays probably look like shit, but like at the time you're like, wow, this is so cool. You know, I'm
Yeah, Pokemon Gen 2 did it better, you know, did it first.
What a shit game.
Yeah, no, actually, because this is based on Miles Morales, please tell me they have a soundtrack anywhere in the same ballpark as Into the Spider-Verse.
I don't know if it'd be in the same ballpark, but it's got like the same like R&B tunes to it that are really fantastic.
Oh, nice.
It better be, because Into the Spider-Verse is a fantastic soundtrack.
It is. It's such a good movie too. I absolutely adore that movie.
Yeah.
Seth would know this, but I was like, I don't want to watch any superhero movies, right? And then one day, I don't remember why, Into the Spider-Verse came on, and I just kind of watched it while I was sitting at my parents' house. And I sat there and I watched the entire thing, and I was like, that was incredible.
Yeah,
it's
one
of the best movies
more.
that I've ever seen. I legitimately went, I'm going to hate this. I don't want to watch it. And then I was like completely blown away. And I was like, wow, I'm really keen for the next one. Are you going to watch the other Spider-Man movies now? No.
So with these other Spider-Man movies, obviously they're all centered around Peter Parker. But so, yeah, because you play Peter Parker in the PS4 one, right? So is he just like a story element in this one, or what's the relevance? Like what's the carryover rather?
So the start of this game's like prologue is that you're just Miles and Peter are out on patrol to make sure that this police escort is going fine. It doesn't, and
oh, I'm shocked.
Let's
I
leave
had no
it at
idea.
that. Let's leave it at that. But after their successful cleanup of the police escort going badly, Peter drops on Miles that he's going to Europe for a few weeks, and that Miles will be the only Spider-Man in town for the duration of his vacation. And so it's kind of like just this story of Miles getting to be his own Spider-Man and like coming to terms with what that responsibility is, sort of thing.
I can't wait for the other end of the coin where we get to play as Peter Parker doing a Kentucky tour.
Yeah. You get to play as you get to play as Peter Parker, right? And he's just on like the French Riviera, and he goes to shoot a web, but he's on a beach, and there's nothing tall to latch onto, and he just has to walk from place to place.
Grab a shark and ride that through the waves, mate. No worries.
I don't know how familiar you guys are with like the comic world. He's going over to Symkaria, I think it's called, where Silver Sable resides. Because MJ in this universe is a Daily Bugle reporter, so they've got her going over there to report about the civil war that's going on, and Peter's going to be her photographer for the trip. So it's kind of like a work vacation sort of thing for him.
Fair enough.
Where are the Avengers? Are they mentioned? Is there a tie to the Marvel Cinematic Universe at all? Or?
Not the MCU, but the Avengers Tower is in this game. So is Doctor Strange's house.
Yeah, because
you can find.
Cool.
Yeah, all that stuff was in the first game. I just wanted to see they sort of kept going with it.
Yeah, no, they kept all that stuff in the game as well, but they never bring them up.
Right.
Is Willem Dafoe in this game?
No, I wish he was.
Like, I don't mean
Willem
the Green
Dafoe?
Goblin. I mean, like, Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. And yes, I wish he was, but no, he isn't.
That's a shame.
So just continuing off that beat, though, it's a pretty good setup for the story, and the story does go very well for the most part. Miles has to deal with his own villain. He runs into the Prowler in this as well. They do something different with the Prowler than what happens in Into the Spider-Verse and the comics, which is very appreciated from me. Like, they don't just repeat everything that's going on with the Prowler's backstory, and that's a positive. It gives them room to do other things. And but the main complaint I have about the story is that like the main villain is just not that great.
That's a shame. What
Yeah.
what was the letdown? Just like not fleshed out enough, or
They're fleshed out fine. It's that their motives aren't questionable. Their motives are fine, but a lot of their actions throughout the last act of the game is very stupid.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's just the way they act throughout the last third of the game is very stupid. And to cap off this whole Spider-Man talk, I hate what they did with Peter Parker in this game. They somehow managed to whitewash a white man, and it's the worst.
What do you mean?
So Peter in the PS4 version of the game, he's got this identity to him. Like he looks like a kind of what you expect a 24-year-old Peter Parker would look like. I heard some complaints that he looks too old, but to me it was just kind of like around the eyes you could see he's tired sort of thing, and that makes sense for Peter because he's been at this for 8 years and he doesn't get any rest as Spider-Man. Going into the PS5 remaster of the game and Miles Morales, they changed it to an actor that's kind of Tom Holland-y looking, but a bit more like a little thickened out than Tom Holland, and it is the worst change they've made.
Yeah, I remember seeing that when all it came out, and it looked like it. Probably if you haven't played the first one, you can't tell, but if you're comparing them side by side, it is very uncanny valley. It's very much like, oh, he looks the same, but shit. Yeah, which is strange. You just wouldn't really copy the assets over.
Yeah, I don't know what they were doing changing the face. It was such a bad idea. And I don't think anyone likes it.
Oh, that's a shame. So, all up, out of 10, what would you give it?
This I would give like a 6 because of the story holding it back and because of some technical issues I ran into with the game. it's fun enough where I can give it a above average score.
Fair enough. How much does it cost? Where can people get it?
I don't know how much it costs at the moment, but I think I grabbed it for like $60, which is
Whew.
pretty cheap for this game, because I think it usually goes for around $80, $90, which
And so
is
the
kind
6
of
out of
fair.
10, so the 6 out of 10 is based on you buying it for $60?
Nah. The price doesn't factor into this at all.
Right, fair enough. And PlayStation
I mean, the dude
exclusive,
was
right?
going to pay like $80 for Dragon Ball Breakers, so you can't really trust his
Yeah, I was
opinion.
waiting for someone to comment on that.
Miles Morales is
good.
on PS4 and PS5. I should add that I played this on PS5, and it ran pretty great on that.
That's cool. Thank you, Seth, for that. I also note that you have finished Legends: Arceus. Do you want to give us a quick 2-minute update? So this one's going to be kind of weird because we're going to be doing like the separate Arceus chat. But do you want to give like any follow-ups to the closing thoughts you had on it from last week?
Not really. I don't think my stance on the game has changed all that much since last week.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I hit the ending at 1 o'clock in the morning today, and then went to sleep and touched a post game a little bit for an hour after work.
And now here we are.
Yeah, and now here we are recording this.
Cool. All right. Thank you to Seth for that. Shall we, because I'm looking at how things have organized here. So both Josh and Steve have played a bit of Control. So Control will be the main one that we talk about. That's fine. Shall we touch on the other things that Josh has in his list first and then end with some Control chat? Does that sound good?
I love it.
Yeah, sounds good.
Josh.
I haven't really got to play this much this week, like I was saying. I will touch very briefly on Redstone Online just because I've been playing it for the better part of like 14 years on and off. I don't recommend anyone plays it. It's completely dead. It's out of date, but it is a 2D MMO. It's Korean.
And you need
it
to
has,
commit
like,
black magic in order to get it to run on a computer.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, unless you want to run like literally Windows XP. It doesn't even run in a virtual machine running Windows XP. Its requirements are something like, I think it's like 512 megabytes of RAM, like 5 gig hard drive space, and I think it's like a Pentium Core 2 Duo.
Christ.
So it's a very old game. And
5 gigs of space seems like a lot for 2007.
Well, it's 5 gig now that it's been updated for the last like 10 years.
Okay, yeah.
It was a 1.3 gig installed on my original machine. I remember because it was a 500 meg exe file to download.
Surprised it
And I
didn't come
remember
on
I
a
had to
disc.
download it over several weeks. On a disc, no, it's just a Korean game. It's like it's barely translated. Like you'll do something and it'll be like, "Hey, go to the northeast of this map and you'll find this guy." And I'm like, "Oh look, he's at the southwest." It's very bad. I just wanted to bring it up so that if anyone by any chance happens to have played it, let us know. Come play.
But what made you get
probably
into
will
it?
Stop playing it, but
It seems like
what
something.
made me get into it?
Yeah, it seems like a weird thing to sort of get into spur of the moment.
When I was as in what made me get into it now or originally?
Let's go with now.
Both. Oh,
Let's go
okay.
now.
Oh, both,
now.
yeah.
Fine.
I had nothing to play. It's a very simple game. Like I can pick it up, right click on something, watch my guy attack it, and then come back in a minute and go, yeah, cool, it's dead now. Right click on
Minute.
the next enemy, and it's a grind. You grind all the way up to level 1200 roughly. And some of those levels take hours, right? And I've done that and then rebirth, so there's like a prestige system kind of 3 times over the years.
Wouldn't
and I'm on my way
this be
again.
like,
1200.
Wouldn't Granada
and-
Espada be like an updated? Because Granada Espada's got like a similar kind of thing, hasn't it? Based on was it no? A couple other mutual friends played a lot of Granada Espada. I don't
tried
think
to
you were
play
one of
Granada
those.
Espada. I hated it.
Okay, much.
Yeah.
Never mind then.
Yeah, I tried. It was.
I'll go
it's
put that
okay, but-
opinion back in the closet. Fuck.
No, it's to be fair, I'd played it again. Like if I'd picked up Redstone now, I'd be like, what is this?
Yeah.
But Granada Espada was the same. I picked up like 10 years afterwards, and I was like, I can't play this. I didn't have the nostalgia for it.
Yeah. So is it nostalgia that gives you the drive to play it again now recently?
Yeah, absolutely. That and they released it on Steam a couple of years back. And I was like, oh, maybe there's like an updated player base. Maybe some people that I know will still be playing it, because it was always a small enough community of about a couple of thousand people total around the world that played on the Western servers. and some of them still play, but not many do. It's small enough now that the entire game community has made a Discord server and abandoned the official forums. The Discord server is not very active. There's about, and I'll tell you how many people are in it. There is
there are several thousand people that now play this game, and
there
they
are
still won't be friends with me.
56 people that aren't admins and 15 admins. That's the entire.
15
That's the entire fucking.
admins.
And minus one because you're in that Discord as well. So
I'm
Yeah,
in the
true.
Discord as well. So what was 15 plus 55? So what?
70.
70 people total around the Western world play this game.
hey,
Oh,
that's,
you should be on an endangered species list.
that's a raiding party.
Yeah, it's it's pretty crazy. I was amazed the servers were still running, to be honest. But yeah, it's like pretty dedicated community. But yeah,
So what's the game like? You said that you went and right clicked, and that's all cool. But like, what are the gameplay hooks that you enjoy about it? What is it that you do that you enjoy other than just crave the sweet nostalgia serotonin?
so the reason I played it originally, to explain it, was that in 2007ish when I started playing this game, I couldn't play WoW, which all my friends were playing, because I couldn't pay for the subscription because I was like 12.
So you found WoW at home.
So no, well, so that's effectively what I did with a game called Guild Wars, and then I played that to death, way before Guild Wars 2 was.
Yeah, and then you play the second one.
And no, I didn't.
I
play
feel
the
like
second
I've
one,
heard a lot of people just scream out in agony as he called Guild Wars the WoW at home.
I mean, Guild Wars 1 was an amazing game, but it wasn't a good fun game. It was excellent for its time. Guild Wars 2 is probably worse in my opinion because it's very different to Guild Wars 1, but they're very different games to what WoW would be. So anyway, a friend of mine said, here's Redstone Online, this is a free game, come give it a go. And I played it. They played it for about a day, and I played it ever since. And
Fuck
the
you, I'm
reason
gonna
I
finish
liked
it.
so much was well, I actually finished the main quest. This is my latest pickup. I only just finished the main quest for the story, which is crazy, and it was not worth the payoff. There was no payoff. And it
So
was
how many
badly
hours?
translated.
How many hours do you reckon you put into this game over the years in total?
Within the tens of thousands, like literally. At least.
How did this not come up when we had the what's the longest, like what are your most highest playtime games chat from like 3 episodes ago?
I don't know. It didn't occur to me.
It's probably embarrassed.
But it would be literally in the tens of thousands. Like I bought laptops very specifically to run this. I built my first PC to run it on, and it was like running a Core 2 Duo at the time. I bought a graphics card so that I could play it. It was my first ever like PC build. And yeah, it doesn't really run on anything anymore. So
I just
now
love
have
that
to
it's
make
like
it run.
like you from a couple episodes ago was like, oh man, yeah, I've got like 2,000 hours in Dota. Yeah, man, that's such a time investment. Meanwhile, just sleeper multiple tens of thousands of hours like Chad over there, just lying in the darkness, ready to strike.
Is
well,
the Chad to be
yeah.
playing more than 10,000 hours, or is this like a touch grass moment?
It's definitely a touch grass moment. Like it's all I did after school for like literally years was play this, and at the top point, so at the peak of like the game, because they keep moving publishers as well, like server hosts. So they hosted it on this one called like OG Planet for a couple of years, and then they moved it back to the original Korean developer now because no one wants to pay for the rights to publish it anymore. But like there was like a couple of thousand people maybe playing it, and I was in like the top guild, so it was all I did like every day after school. It was either that or Dota. That's the only 2 games I played for like 5 years. And yeah, I just come back to it and throw a couple of 100 hours into it every couple of years, I guess, ever since. But yeah, no, I wouldn't recommend anyone play it, but it's fun.
Sounds like you
interesting
need.
history to
Sounds
talk
like you
about.
need people to play it, so you can get.
Sounds
other
like you
people.
need people to play so the servers stay up. Yeah. Oh, I was actually like, I'm at the point where I'm like, man, like, because the soundtrack for it is incredible. It's some of the most atmospheric like music I've ever heard in a game, and it's just some random game. But I was like at the point where I'm like, well, how can I like reverse engineer this to create my own public server in case it ever goes down, so I can host it and play. I can tweak EXP values and stuff. Because the only real bad part about it is like once you
Is
get
the
to a
pay-to-win
certain
system?
level. Well, there is a pay-to-win system now, but like it was just you would get to a certain level, like 600 or even 900, depending on when you were playing the game, where it would take you literal days of killing the exact same monster to level up once. So it was.
So you get to actually
grindy.
play out the Make Love Not Warcraft arc.
Yeah, effectively. Yeah, like you would kill something and you would get like maybe 0.05% of a level, and then you'd have to keep like grinding and killing it and killing it and killing it. And yeah, you have a huge variety of skills for every class, and then you can press X to transform into like if you're a magician, you transform into like a werewolf. So you get like a completely different subset of skills and stuff, which made the combat really interesting. But it's like 2D top-down Diablo-esque kind of thing where you drop loot and they have like various gear attachments and item levels and whatnot. And those kind of grind factors always hooked me in, to be honest. So played that for way too long.
No, it's cool that you got something that you can return to and just play again as if you were playing it for the first time without it being part of some wider like remaster or re-release or something. To have a game that you just after a while just pick up again and be like, yeah, I just want to play this for a couple hundred hours. It's kind of touch grassy, but also kind of cool.
Yeah.
What would you? So you said you wouldn't recommend it, but what would you give it out of 10?
In 2007, I would have given it like an 8 or a 9. Now, I'd still probably give it a 5. If it ran correctly on modern systems, like if the devs actually cared enough to update it, it would still be like a 7.
Maybe it's their type of way of trying, like being like, take the hint, like it's.
Well, they tried to do a Redstone too. Then they cancelled it to do a phone game because that was all the rage, 10 years ago. So they did that, put it out a phone game, released it in Korea, and everyone went, "Why would I play this if I can play it on PC on a fully realized game?"
Don't you guys have phones?
Yeah, that was literally just that you don't have phones, and yeah, they canned it. And now, funny enough, everyone in that Discord server is playing Lost Ark. That's the other game I've been playing this week as of today.
That's a good segue.
Can we talk about that?
Sick segue. I'll be honest, sick segue. I am curious though if there is some absolute psychopath out there that listens to this and go, oh, actually, I want to give that a go, and I have a spare XP machine lying around unused. Where would they get Redstone?
You can go to redstoneonline.com. I think it's redstone-online.com and download it from there. But
is it available for Xbox?
Sign in. No, only
get
PC
fucked, Steve.
And.
That's it.
Yeah,
we've lost X-Pros. We've lost.
If you have Windows 11, it won't run at all because GameGuard doesn't run on Windows 11, which is the anti-cheat. So, GG.
Fair enough. No, it's cool. Just had to get that info in there. So, Lost Ark. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so Lost Ark has been almost on and off development, I think, since 2013. It's another Amazon Games MMO that they've now just dropped. By the time this podcast is released, it will be completely free to play.
Dropped as in released or dropped as in stopped?
No. I guess they've done both, haven't they? No, they've released it now. It's been in like semi-public beta, like timed betas for the last couple of months on and off. And the pay, so that you can buy the game with like a pre-pack and you get to play for 3 days before everyone else. That's available now at the time of recording. And in about 8 hours, I think it actually goes completely free to play. So it's top-down kind of think Diablo mixed with Path of Exile, kind of mixed with Final Fantasy 14. Like it's very story-based, but it's still top-down looter shooter kind of thing, where you have skills. You have from I think Q to R, and then A to F, which is actually very similar to Redstone, on abilities, and you get a skill tree, and you can level it up. And you basically pick one of 5 classes at the start. I think it's a warrior, an assassin, a sorceress, and I think it's a monk or something like that. I don't remember what the exact wording was, but it was like a monk female and a monk male. And I think there was a gunslinger male as well.
But no gunslinger female?
There's the gunslinger female. So the gunslinger is like the subclass. I can't remember exactly what they called them. Maybe just gun person, I don't know, but there's subclasses for each of them, and the female ones actually have different subclasses to the males. And also, I'm not even going to justify that with a response.
But you just responded.
Yeah, but there's like a whole bunch of different subclasses for it. If you really like Path of Exile, or you really like Diablo 3 or even 2, definitely worth checking into. It's going to be free to play. Well, it is free to play. So, I've only played a couple of hours, but it was really fun so far. All of the combat was very fluid, very quick for the most part, and just satisfying, All of the trash you just kill instantly, and all the bosses are an actual struggle. So, no, it's
that's a pretty good
really
mix.
Fun. Yeah, no, I'd recommend it for sure for the time I've played for it so far. For a free-to-play game, I mean, you can never really say, don't play this. Like, it's never not worth giving a shot because you might like it.
And if people wanted to check it out, where would they find it?
I think it's just available on Steam. I'd have to double check, but I'm pretty sure it's just available on Steam. So if you want to pick it up, free to play by the time this is out, and yeah, see you online.
That's cool.
Shall we get into Control?
Yeah, and I guess we'll just move into Control, which, Steve, you probably haven't spoken as much as the other two at this point. You want to take point on opening the Control chat? So, Josh, how was Control?
Pat, why did you give him this power?
Funny you should
Don't
speak
worry,
about
we
powers,
can edit them out later. Don't worry.
You know what? You're right. I can.
I just get a lot of silence. You guys like agreeing with me and laughing.
I actually like that one, Stephen. I'd give it like a
Thank
solid
you.
4.
Out of 5. So anyway, Control. So essentially, Control came out in 2019 from the same people that made Alan Wake. If
Remedy
anybody's
Entertainment.
played Alan Wake, well, hopefully not Alan sleeping.
So, Josh, how is Control?
You're trying too hard now, buddy. You got
Okay,
one win with Josh, and now you're pushing it.
I got cocky. So
It flew
How
too
many
close to
hours
the
in are
sun.
so essentially the basic.
Wait. Before you start, how many hours in are you?
I'm just finished chapter 4. I think I'm thinking about 4 or 5 hours in.
Okay, no spoilers.
Well, we can just talk about the gameplay then. Well, how
We
far
can
are
talk
you?
about gameplay.
How far are you into it? Then?
I've played probably the first couple of hours. So I got the telekinesis power and I just did like the water and the power. And that's about it.
Oh, you
Should
both-
I just leave for this section? Because I do plan on playing Control myself at some point.
Nah,
No, we won't do spoilers.
we
but
won't spoil it. We'll
You
just
get a
I actually don't think I don't remember, because I've finished Control. I haven't played the DLC, which I plan to at some point eventually, but I finished it, and I don't think knowing much about the powers spoils a huge amount.
No, I mean it's all shown in the trailer.
or in the achievement list
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, or in the
You
achievement
guys have
list,
been
yeah.
looking at that, right?
I haven't actually looked at the achievement list yet. But
Very,
I
very
might. Is that
doable.
it?
Very doable.
I'd like to hear that.
Yeah. So anyway, the basic premise is you're taking over. You're this girl named Jessie. And
You are Scarlet Witch, yes.
Yeah, essentially, and
damn
she's and you've gone into the I can't remember
The oldest house.
Yeah, the
the-
oldest house, which is under the Bureau of Control or whatever they're called,
Yeah, the Bureau of Control, yeah.
and they sort of investigate like anomalies and sort of the supernatural that sort of fall within like objects of power is what they call it. So it's pretty much like books or TVs or microwaves or kitchen sinks that essentially have weird spirit powers. It's pretty weird, to be honest.
I think to give a good example of an object of power, one of them that I saw, which I thought was really cool, was one of the floppy disks that had like Russian nuke codes on it or something like that.
Yeah.
The FBI gotten power on their hands of, and that was one of the ones that you get very, very, very early on in the game. That gives you the power of telekinesis. And it shows like the guy like in this little video that you can watch like launching stuff with this object of power, and you're like, oh, that's really cool. So there's like a little backstory to all of the objects as well, which is awesome.
Yeah, and
Yeah, sorry, go on.
it does set the scene very well because there are collectibles. You can't like cough or go into a room without finding 2 or 3 snippets of paper or a tape recording or a TV show that explores a bit of the story and the world and what the old house is and what the FBC are actually doing. So, for instance, with that floppy disk example, as you walk into it, there's like 3 pieces of paper that sort of explain, we thought this was going to end the Cold War because it was going to just end the world. But then it turns out it's an object of power. So we had to smuggle it out through one of our spies because it couldn't be used as a nuke because it was it was an object of power essentially. So it is very much sort of tells a story throughout the collectibles you can pick up, as well as the sort of scene that sets as well, because when you're walking into that room, there's a bunch of like computer terminals and the floppy disk itself is behind like a case, and you can sort of, the way things are set up, it can obviously be seen that it's like being studied or being looked at or something like that. So even though there's no one explaining it to you and there are sort of snippets of pages, the environment itself does tell the story, which is pretty good.
Yeah, that was a big Alan Wake
It
thing
was,
as well.
yeah.
Yeah, and the more I play it, the more I think, because when did I play Alan Wake? Like 2014 or something, 2015. And I don't think I
Okay.
appreciated it, the sort of intimate storytelling from that. Like, because Alan Wake is walking around with a torch, shining lights in the darkness, and you're sort of
That
getting
is
weirder and weirder. You're not
completely
sure.
oversimplifying it, but yeah.
Well, that's how I took it, because when I played it, I was like, 18, 19, I didn't really care much for that type of thing. If I wasn't shooting someone, I didn't care. Like, if I wasn't saving the world from an imminent threat, I didn't care. But with Control, maybe because I've matured or my tastes have matured, or maybe because I'm just sort of sitting the time looking around, and I'll take a bit more time as I enter a room to sort of do a sweep of the room to be like, all right, what collectibles can I get that will lead to achievements, as well as sort of inform me about what went on in this room or what else is happening on.
So in the oldest house, because we probably need to contextualize a little bit of like what it is that you're doing there. So you just, if I'm remembering correctly, you just walk in off the street into the Federal Bureau of Control, which ordinarily isn't even something you can access from the street. But there's basically been some sort of containment breach, right? And so you're actually there to, is it find your brother? It's been a while since I played this.
Yeah, you're there to find your brother, and you believe that your brother's held there. So you try to find it, and you find the old house, and then you walk in, and there's been a big disaster, and the old director has died, and everyone's like, oh, you're the new director, congratulations. Because you can pick up the old director's gun, and because the gun's an object of power, it works in a different way, because it chooses who's the director of the Bureau of Control. Then everybody sort of accepts you, oh, you're the new director, like, you can hold the gun. It's very good. I'm only halfway through it, but like, it looks amazing. I'm playing just the Xbox One version, not the next gen, or this gen now version. It still works pretty well. Yeah, I am having a bit of problems because it's like a map you can bring up by pressing up on the D-pad. And if I use a quick resume feature on the Xbox, it doesn't load the map, or it takes like about 2 minutes to load in. And because
There's a few games I've had that problem with on Xbox, actually. But yeah,
No,
okay.
well,
Once you restart it, does it work okay?
Yeah, so what I close it down, I restart it. And the checkpoint system, the auto saving is very generous. So it doesn't, I don't feel, and the load times are pretty quick as well. So I'm probably taking like 10 or 15 seconds, much quicker than actually waiting for the map to load in. And because the levels
there are definitely a couple places where it's checkpointed me in the middle of combat, and I've had to be very quick to not immediately die when I load back in.
I hate it when games do that.
I haven't had that problem yet, but I'm the type of person that will walk in, clear everything in a room, and then grab a checkpoint.
Well,
this
auto
is like
checkpoints.
auto save checkpoint.
Oh, I haven't
And
really
so-
died, so I haven't really realized that yet. But
I never really found difficulty until I think it was the third area, and I'm trying to be very vague, partially because it's been a few years since I played it, so my memory of it isn't super fresh. But yeah, it's very generous early on, but you start dying, or at least the challenge ramps up a couple areas in. And so there's one area in particular it's quite large, so it is kind of hard from a development side to figure out where the checkpoints should be. And I just got unlucky, basically, with a couple of where the checkpoints were that dudes were just kind of attacking me mid-save.
Yeah, that would be pretty rough. And it's sometimes it feels like so to take it a step back even further. So essentially, it's an over-the-shoulder third-person shooter that you get like sort of weird powers and stuff that you can sort of integrate with defeating.
Call it like
the
a
hiss
sci-fi thriller.
Sci-fi thriller, yeah, I guess so. That's probably one way to put it. But like, I mean,
that's right. Yeah. No,
but the actual
yeah,
gameplay itself is like essentially a third-person shooter with powers. Like it does do a couple of good things. Like, I'm not going to spoil too much, but the gun is sort of pretty good, and the way you get things further on makes it sort of seem fair, and they're unique in their own sort of ways. The powers you get can be used for both defense and offense, and it does sort of get a bit fiddly as you're going through combat. It's like when you first start off, but the more you get familiar with your powers and what your weapon can do and what the other enemies can do, you get a lot more comfortable. So there is a difficulty sort of slider, but it definitely sort of drip feeds you.
I call that the Dying Light effect. I'm sure there are games that did it before Dying Light, but Dying Light was the first game where you start and everything you fight feels like you need to overpower it to kill it, or it will kill you. But by the end of it, it's the same things that you're fighting. It's just you are now much stronger, that enemies barely register as a threat after a certain point. And I feel like Control, once you hit a certain point, like, yes, I said that it was challenging, and further on levels and things, but once you hit kind of end game-ish type area, you can go back and visit any area again, and it's not trivial, but the threat is reduced quite significantly by the time you get to endgame, which I think is quite cool for a game like that, because the enemies never fully stop. There's always like something to do. I remember starting to get into the end game because that became kind of questy, of like going and clearing out like groups of enemies with particular like quests in mind, of like killing them in a particular way or like achieving a certain objective. But they'd always respawn basically, even if you had to run past them to get to somewhere you wanted to be. So it was nice that the game didn't make getting through enemies you've already fought, hundreds of times, so much of a chore that it was prohibitive to move around the map.
Yeah, but it sort of feels like, because they've got like a weird radiant quest system, like I'm not sure if it's every couple of rooms or if it's on a time-based thing, but you'll get like a quest and it's like, all right, you've got 20 minutes to go back to a previous area you visited because there's like enemies have respawned or whatever.
Yeah.
And that sort of feels like it's sort of, you don't have to do it, but there's achievement related to it, so of course I will. And when you clear those, you get like you're probably not up to it, so this will be a minor spoiler, but it's literally very close to
just minor spoilers, fine.
Yeah.
It's gameplay mechanics, I don't care, as long as it's not story.
No, it's not story.
It's not story.
Yeah, so it's literally just so you'll clear those missions and you'll get like ability points and you can put that into your abilities to upgrade them or even do a couple of new things.
So that's worth.
It is a thing worth doing and painting a house over. But it sort of just feels like it's forcing you to go backwards. Like, so, all right, good, I've got 20 minutes to go back, find a control point, fast travel to the nearest control point to where the quest is, walk over, kill a bunch of enemies, then go back to where I was and what was I doing again type of thing. Realistically, it's only like fair. 10 minutes out of the way, sometimes even less, but it's still sort of...
I do kind of know what you mean, though, yeah, because it does feel like the game sets itself up as you want to explore, you want to solve all the mysteries, that when it throws a mechanic that's time-based somewhere that you've already been, it does feel like it gets in its own way in that sense. It's a good point.
It seems like it's a bit of a pace breaker to me.
It is, and it's very, like, jarring, and... Someone said it to me last week before I started playing it. I can't remember if it was one of you guys or one of my other mates. They call it like a modern day Metroidvania. And
I can see that.
Yeah. At first I was like, this isn't a Metroidvania. It's weird. But it is sort of very much in that style, even though it is sort of a lot more action based and there are sort of quests and there is like an overarching sort of heavy story into it. It does feel that way. And the more I get into it, you get to some areas where it's like, all right, I can't go into this doorway. What do? I look around. I can't get into it. So I'm like, obviously I have to go the long way around and open it from the outside because this will be a shortcut thing later.
Yeah. I remember feeling, I remember because the game just kind of throws you in the deep end when you're around exploring and things. And I remember just kind of just trying to sort of keep my head above water, trying to figure out what's going on and everything for the first little bit of it. And then I started to get a handle on what was happening. But it might have been when you start unlocking the Radiant Quest system, or there are like moments when the game actually starts to open up and the pieces of it fall into place. And you think, now I'm actually kind of in the game. Do you know what I mean? Like in the game, not just in the, not the prologue. And it's certainly not a tutorial, but there's definitely a break between you doing what the game tells you to do because you have to, and then once you hit a point, I think it is that quest system. I remember it super distinctly. I just can't remember where because it's been a couple years.
I think it'll be where I'm up to because the quest to unlock the no, it's not really a story spoiler or anything. The quest that I'm doing to turn on the power and the water is to bring up the lockdown so that you can open more doors and everything and then open up to the actual world. Everything till now has been almost tutorially. I've walked into a room and it's gone, hey, here's this system, here's how you can use it. Walk to the next room, hey, here's this system, here's how you can use it. And then it's like sort of moved on. So I think once you lift this lockdown, it's probably where the game actually opens up and begins.
It was definitely around there,
Yeah, I think it's after you
lift
a
distinct point.
Yeah, after you lift that lockdown, a couple more things start to open up, and that's probably like a really good point of like that is the beginning stage, and then unlocking that lockdown is sort of like it spreads out a bit more because you got two objectives and you can hit them in either way, and they're on different sides of the map. And how do you get there is kind of the puzzle you're fixing.
Yeah,
and then like after that, it like sort of spreads out a bit more, and you can do a bit more.
That feeling you guys are describing of like this very specific part of the game where it feels like, okay, the training wheels are coming off and you kind of just get thrown into the deep end for just kind of exploring and trying to get to grips with the game. I kind of had that similar experience with Hollow Knight,
Yeah, I was thinking Hollow Knight as well when you said like, Metroidvania with quest and still a very strong story. It actually Hollow Knight immediately popped into my mind, and yeah, no, I can 100% see that as well.
But yeah,
Both good games.
I'm really enjoying it so far. It's a bit different to what I thought it was going to be. Well, because it's been very hyped up, and a lot of people have said a lot of different things about it. And I think I was expecting more of a linear adventure like Alan Wake, but this is sort of a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's sort of like I'm really starting to get into it now. And there is
Yeah.
a couple of problems with the Radiant Quest system I don't like. There's a couple of things where I've gotten like stuck because in one of the rooms I had to get into in the top right corner there was something I was supposed to shoot. I didn't see that. So I spent about 40 minutes walking around going, I can't get into this. Like, is it bugged? Am I retarded?
Metroidvania experience.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm just sitting there getting like more and more frustrated with it. I'm like, you know what? I bet there's something back at the door that I missed. I'm looking around. Oh, hey, what happens if I shoot this? Okay, door's open. I'm in.
Yeah,
and
there
I'm
were
like,
a couple of story puzzles, particularly visiting a motel, which that's probably as specific as I'll get.
Oh, that
but
one's got me so stuck for so
yeah,
long.
they took
yeah.
like it's annoying because you feel like you've done everything, and then it's a mechanic that you have to go through it multiple times. And I don't know if it's intended or not, but I feel like if I go through it enough and fail it, quote unquote, by not being able to leave it and it just resetting you again, I wonder if after a certain number of points they actually do change something, because I swear some of the solutions to those are things I am 99% sure I've checked on a previous run and nothing's happened.
So there is one thing
Yeah.
like that. I hated the fucking part you're talking about. I went through every single collectible. I couldn't get it. But there's this other part that's sort of like on a side quest. And you've got to go through almost like a loop or what are those things called, like army training loops. And you've got to get like around this loop in like I think it's less than like a minute 15. And I failed it like 3 times. And on the third time, Jesse, the protagonist, is pretty much like, shut the fuck up. Like, how can I keep getting this wrong? And it was like, oh, okay, like I've got that wrong 3 times. How do I keep getting it wrong? Like and like she's frustrated and I'm frustrated and then I'm frustrated. Like, you're a video game character. What are you getting frustrated?
And you hear the hiss
you.
laughing at you.
Yes, essentially like that. And I was like,
The hiss, by the way, of the enemies of the game.
oh yeah, sorry, yeah, the hiss of
Not
the
just
enemy.
some random hiss in the back of his head.
It's just the cat hissing, yeah. Yeah, and it's really good that the developers have taken the time to, all right, you failed something X number of times. You're not just doing it on a loop. There is actually a feedback type of thing. And I thought it was really good. It's really cool.
Yeah. I'd also like to draw special attention to when I heard that this was made by the Alan Wake developers, I was expecting it to be more of a horror-y style. So Alan Wake I really enjoyed because it was a very not horror-oriented game, but there were good horror elements of just like uneasiness. You weren't sure what was going to happen. Some of the storytelling mechanics from Alan Wake were really good with, like, you would read pages that would foreshadow events that were going to happen and you just didn't know when. I consider those to be horror elements because they are kind of like what, to me, makes a good horror film. And so when I played through Control, I had a lot of those similar moments which felt really good, but I also want to especially shout out just the overall feeling of uneasiness and there wouldn't be any moment that I could think of that was a horror thing, that was a thriller thing, that was a jump scare, but just you never felt super comfortable unless you were at a control point that you had just cleared and you knew was safe. You were always just slightly on edge walking around the map, which I really enjoyed as a player, which really sort of added to the whole atmosphere of like the whole thing about the oldest house is that it's described really well as it's a building that just doesn't make sense. Like from the outside it looks to be certain dimensions, but as soon as you go inside it's just bigger than the dimensions would look from the outside. And so
It's a TARDIS.
thanks for trivializing it. Yeah, sure, like the TARDIS. But as you're exploring this sort of nonsensical area, because you know that it's nonsensical, it means that it just removes the kind of there's like the part of the human psyche that wants to rationalize everything, and this game does a really good job of just not letting you have that except at very specific moments. And the moments that it lets you have that, they make sense. You know, it's like when you've saved the control point, when you're advancing the story, that kind of thing. But when you're exploring a new area for the first time, when you've told you need to go do something that you just know is going to lead to something happening, it removes that ability for you to rationalize what's happening. And that sense of uneasiness, I really enjoy playing because not a lot of games deliver that in a way that's consistent across the whole experience. And Control does that very well, I'd say.
Yeah, no, that's a very good way of putting it. Yeah, I don't really think I've got anything more to add. That's a really good way of summing up my thoughts about it as well.
Yeah, I would say very much the same. I went into it comparing it to Alan Wake as well. I definitely thought it would be far more linear, even though I'm only a couple of hours in. It's definitely not linear, and like just like what Patrick said, the uneasiness throughout the whole thing was very good. So, like so far, there was one part where there was just blood trails leading to a door that I had to go through the story, right? And I was just uneasy walking in there because yeah, it doesn't take much for you to take quite a lot of damage. So I imagine it would be very, very easy to die. The only real reason I haven't is because I've been playing quite carefully and just it's obviously the start of the game and I'm abusing my powers, which are one-shotting most things. As the game goes through, I think it would be quite interesting to see how it progresses. But like just the storytelling mechanics in general that Remedy do is just always amazing. So keen to keep playing.
Yeah,
I think it leaves on the 18th, so I've got like 7 days left, or I'll have to buy it. So
No,
I'll probably buy it anyway, to be honest. For the DLC,
it's the 15th.
it's the 15th.
Yeah,
I think it's the 18th on PC. Oh,
Well,
maybe it is the 15th.
Well, if you do like it, like don't force yourself to play it. So you're running through it. It's not one of those games that you'll do yourself
lose
a
lot
disservice
by rushing it. Yeah,
you'll do
to
yourself a
be honest,
disservice.
I think it was free on Epic Games at one point. So
It was.
I got it anyway.
Yeah, probably.
But
Would yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
often on sale.
Yeah, and even then, at the moment, it's $60 on Steam, which isn't a steep price.
No, it's not. Yeah.
But is that for the complete? Because they've got like a three DLC pack.
Yeah, there's expansion 1, which is the Foundation, and expansion 2, which is Ore.
It says Ultimate Edition, which is $60.
Yeah, so that'd be all of it.
Yeah, because I've heard very good things about the DLC.
Yeah, I stopped it just because at the time when I was playing it, it made sense to just stop at the end of the game. But at some point, maybe after chatting about this, it's made me reminisce about how much I enjoyed it. But I'll have to jump back in and get the DLC done at some point.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'll get the time to do the DLC, to be honest, and we'll see how the ending goes. Maybe I actually do get inspired to actually buy it, and if I do buy it, I'll buy the next gen version because the one on Game Pass is like the last gen version.
Random question: the first area, like the first of the first areas, like the first office kind of
We
thing.
get it.
Yeah, what I mean is the first place with like a ton of desks. You know what I mean? Like when they're all arranged in the grid. You had to fight some dudes in there, and while fighting dudes in there, I smashed one of the desks, and I really enjoy the physics of the objects like collapsing and crashing through each other, so much so that I made it a mission, and a mutual friend of ours watched, like I streamed this because he'd played Control and he was curious what I thought of it, and he had to sit and watch me for 20 minutes meticulously destroy every desk in that area. I just want to know that I'm not alone here. Did other people also enjoy smashing desks as much as I did?
I didn't go to the point where I broke every single desk, but I did take note of how I could like smash glasses and cause like an office room to explode with a what are they called, fire extinguisher. And I was like, oh cool, now I can get this collectible. I just like blew up a room. There's really cool things like that I noticed, and playing it on PC, it actually supports ray tracing as well, which I'm not sure if the new Xbox One does.
I think
the game itself looks
the next gen
incredible.
version does. I don't think the current one, like the
It looks
last
so
gen one.
good.
Yeah.
Like it's one of the better looking games I've ever played, period. Like it looks incredible. Although the actual character models themselves leave a little bit to be desired.
Yeah, the
It's, it's
environments
a
are
couple years old
good.
at this
Models
point.
bad. Yeah.
Environments are amazing, yeah.
Cool. Out of 10, based on what you played, because neither of you have finished it, Steve, what would you give it out of 10?
I reckon it's a 7 so far. I'm always sort of a bit hesitant to give a review like this, or like get a final score when I'm not even halfway through, or just hit halfway through, because it being story based will probably depend on how I feel about the conclusion of the story and which way the narrative goes. And that will sort of impact my thoughts on it, like whether I like it or whether I don't like it. But gameplay is really solid, and I guess at the end of the day, it is a video game, not a story game. So, for lack of a better term. So yeah, I'd be
visual novel.
comfortable giving it a 7 at the moment, and let's see next week what I feel about it.
Fair enough. Josh?
I would lean in towards an 8, to be honest. I think that the sci-fi elements, particularly, as well as being just really everything I would want from the way they told the story so far, being so Alan Wakey, and the way I really enjoyed that game. It's leaning more towards an 8 for me for now, but I have to obviously dig in and finish it. But yeah, currently an 8.
Seth, based on how we've discussed it and you wanting to play it in the future, how, out of 10, likely are you now to play it based on what we've been saying?
0 out of 10. Sorry, guys, you killed it for me.
Oh, I was afraid he might say that.
Josh take.
Dude.
Josh
Take,
take.
yeah.
It's because of Josh that I am now at a 0 out of 10.
What did I say?
What didn't you say?
That you enjoyed it. That was the red flag.
Yeah, if I enjoy a game, you know it's bad.
But no, yeah, it's just one of those things where it's been in the back of my mind for so long that I'll do it someday. I just keep forgetting about it when I do actually see it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll get to it at some point, and then I can do a follow-up after you guys and say, oh yeah, I did it. I think the exact same thing you guys did. 10 out of 10.
Remember back in episode 11 when we talked all about Control? Yeah, I agree with all of that. 10 out of 10.
Episode 30.
Yeah.
Gotta shill our backlog somehow.
The reunion tour 40 years from now. Yeah, that's fair enough. I'd be leaning towards somewhere between an 8 and a 9. Yeah, I've basically, from what I've been saying and from reminiscing about it with you two, yeah, somewhere between an 8 and a 9.
And on a score of 1 to 10, how likely are you to play the DLC?
See, weirdly, after having this chat, I'm now much more likely to play the DLC, because it's not that I was never going to, it's just, it was kind of in the back of my mind, sort of down the priority list a bit, but thinking about how much fun I had going through the main game, I think it's lifted a couple of points in my priority list, so yeah, probably looking at playing the DLC, maybe 8 or 9 out of 10 as well.
Nice.
Thank you to Steve and Josh for the Control chat. And with that, we are now at the end of part 1, unless I'm missing something somewhere on the list that someone would have wanted to talk about that I missed. I don't think so. Going once, going twice.
Sold.
Sold. Boom. Okay, cool. And with part 1 done, we are now on to part 2 for this episode, which is the news. First group of articles we have are few quickfire things about various game anniversaries we have. We've got Nier Automata celebrating 5 years, Atelier celebrating 25 years, and Final Fantasy VII celebrating 25 years. Seth, which of these do you want to hit first?
Let's hit Nier first. I'm just going to quickly plow through these. Nier Automata is on its 5th anniversary.
Happy birthday.
Oh, I forgot to list it as well. Gravity Rush is on its 10th birthday.
I don't care for that.
Whoa, that one makes me feel old.
Yeah. There's nothing special planned for Gravity Rush. That's dead and buried, and that breaks my heart.
Yeah.
Moving on to happier news. Nier Automata 5-year anniversary. They have a stream planned on February 23rd. They're going to go over some news, some giveaways, and some interviews with the key figures behind the game, like Yosuke Saito, Yoko Taro, and so on. Like the usual people you expect at a Nier event.
Mm-hmm.
Atelier is having its 25th anniversary. Atelier Sophie 2 is coming out on February 25th as the 25th anniversary game. And they've got announcements planned in May, the actual anniversary month of the series, where they'll talk about the future of the series. And Final Fantasy VII has its 25th anniversary coming up.
Happy birthday, Final Fantasy! Woo!
The best Final Fantasy game, as some people think, which is wrong, but we'll get to that some other time.
Definitely top 3.
Definitely top 3, yes.
It's not even top 3.
They confirmed that they've confirmed that there are more Final Fantasy VII projects in the works.
They have like 17 of them. They've got the Battle Royale thing they're doing. They've got Remake Part 2, whatever they're doing. They've got the launch on the Xbox that will come any day now, along with Temtem and Final Fantasy 14.
They've also got that mobile version of Final Fantasy VII that's like covering every game.
That's right.
But yeah, they're saying they're being done in sequential order, and Nomura, the director overseeing basically all the Final Fantasy VII projects, is still surprised by some of the games they have in development for Final Fantasy VII. And Kitase came out and said that if possible, you can never hold Square Enix to this because they can delay things at the last minute. If possible, they'll showcase Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 this year.
So that means it's not even coming out this year.
Yeah, they still need to do Final Fantasy 16 first.
Yeah, let's leave that.
Oh, well, we will look forward to seeing if they follow through. So, next up, first of all, that concludes the list of anniversaries we have. And so, on to some news. We'll start with something entertaining. From Kotaku, we have a story of a man in, please tell me, Florida? Florida?
Yes, it's
Florida.
Florida.
Of course, it's Florida. Robbing a bank, wearing a Sonic the Hedgehog mask, and wielding a large hammer.
Do you reckon he was making the hammer noise in Super Smash Brothers?
Sounds like the Payday 2 mod gone wrong, doesn't it?
You imagine the bank teller. You just hear that sound before he walks into the store, and you're like, "What's going on? Why don't we hear boss music?"
Meanwhile, the people that know just duck and cover.
The thing is, does he have to collect the coins like one at a time?
I think when he gets hit, like 20 of them come flying out of him.
Surely he's got magnet on, so it all comes to him, so you don't have to worry about it.
Do you think if he gets shot, he loses more?
Do you think it's going off the old game logic where if he gets hit, he loses all of them at once, or the new game logic where if he gets hit, he just loses a small amount?
Depends how many bullets you think one man can take in a Sonic mask.
one man in a Sonic Hedgehog from Florida? I don't know, we could be looking at a lot.
You remember that story of the guy that like robbed a drive-thru with an alligator from Florida?
Yeah.
Classic.
Fucking Florida, man.
Literally. So do you reckon once he like stole the coins that he rolled himself into a ball and just rolled out of the bank again?
Probably wasn't even looking for coins, just looking for rings.
I think he just Naruto ran out there while screaming, "Woo, yeah!"
Gotta run
And
fast.
he hits an oversized red like spring and then just goes launching off a ramp.
He sees like a loop, just does the loop.
It's Florida. I believe there's loop-de-loops there.
That's just the hurricane season.
I mean, there probably is somewhere called what's it, Greenfield?
Green Hill.
Valley.
Green Hill.
Green Hill Zone.
So close.
Yeah, Green Hill
it's
Zone.
Yeah. I'm picking there'd be somewhere in Florida called Green Hill. Did he actually get caught? I probably should have read the article. They are looking for him.
He's fast, man. He got away.
Everybody is safe.
The
nothing was
article
taken,
literally
local
says
police
he
were on
was
it.
too fast and they found nothing.
That's perfect.
Even if they caught him, that's how I'd end it. I'd be like, sorry, I had wrong information, just so I could write it there. I'd
Yep.
spread that false information.
Excellent. Next up on the list, we have Shredder being added to Nickelodeon All-Stars. Woohoo!
The totally live game that people are still playing.
Yeah, it's the it's almost like it's almost like the next Smash Fighter Pass, but not quite.
Well, the random
You know, Smash wasn't in the latest Nintendo Direct, which means this is the next best thing.
Yeah.
we're not getting any more Smash characters.
So according to Gamatsu, we have Shredder being added as free DLC, I think. Yes?
Yeah, I think all the characters are being added as free DLC. I
hope
believe
so.
Garfield was also free.
I don't think anyone's going to pay for DLC for Nick All-Stars
Yeah.
at this point.
Probably not. No.
Anyone have anything to comment on that? Should we just move on?
Shredder's a really cool character.
He's a cool
Oh,
character.
he is, but it's just like Nick All-Stars is so gone.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is, but like just the fact that they did Shredder as a DLC character is like, yeah, I can get with that. Shredder's really cool.
It definitely
They made it
deserves
free to
the
play,
at least you
I'd say.
tried star.
Have you guys played this yet, or know anybody that's played it?
I'm not willing to pay for a dead game, to be honest with you.
I know a lot of YouTube creators played it and they haven't after day one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same.
Oh well,
Cool.
to
Do you
the
wanna move on
two
to
people out
Futurama
there that are enjoying Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, hope you enjoy Shredder. Futurama has been given the green light for a reboot. I really don't know how to feel about this one. Hulu has decided to flog the dead horse.
Well, it's not a reboot, it's a continuation.
Oh,
Yeah, it's not
yeah,
it's
but-
not a reboot, it's a revival. They're
Yeah, it's another
continuing
20
on from
episodes.
I've
Yeah, they're
restarted.
continuing on from their third finale.
I think it's fourth finale at this point.
Oh, really? I thought it was 3 so far.
I think it's 4. Either that or it's been canned 4 times, and this is coming back for the 5th time.
But does it need to though?
It doesn't. I keep
doesn't.
hearing that every time they end it, it ends in
A good
in
way.
the best way possible.
Yeah.
And the fact that they've done good endings 3 times should have left it there.
Yeah.
Also, the voice for Bender, John DiMaggio, he's like not coming back because, or rumored to not be coming back due to negotiation issues. And people are like screaming, like, if he's not on there, I don't want to watch
It's not worth it.
Yeah, he is the
No.
best
Yeah, it's-
character.
He's by far one of the best characters, yeah. And like people are like calling for like a boycott, like we won't watch it unless you pay him to bring the show back, basically.
That's-
Like if you want our money from us, like you need to pay other people what they're worth. So yeah, John's got him
Yeah.
by the balls on this one.
Oh well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see, but I'm not holding out too much hope.
My favorite
No.
John DiMaggio role, by the way, is where he was a racist islander in Final Fantasy X.
Of course he
Riku,
was.
isn't
Is
it?
he
Riku.
Yeah, he's Waka.
Oh,
is
Waka,
Waka-
that's right.
Is he really?
Yeah.
I played it
Yeah.
in Japanese, so I had no idea. Oh my god.
It's
you were
really
just
good.
talking about the Al Bed stuff earlier today, but yeah, let's not get into that character.
And Albert is always bad.
The only good Albed is a
Dead
dead
Albed.
Albed. Yeah. Fucking hell.
Just think of the Albed dying as a happy little fireworks.
Man, if you tried to put that character in a game these days, people would be like, "What the hell?" And rightly so. I remember I played it because I played Final Fantasy X like, I don't know, 6-7 months ago, and I was like, "What is this character?" But anyway, we can move on.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see on that one, I think. Next up on the list, we have Jack and Daxter film/TV show possibly being in the works, and this is by the director of the not quite released but soon to be released Uncharted movie. Am I right on that?
Yeah, and Tom Holland has also talked about wanting to do a Jack and Daxter movie as well around the same time frame this came out.
Interesting coincidence. Oh no, what's the incredible line? Coincidence? I think not.
Yeah, I'm of two minds of this. On one hand, yay, the franchise isn't dead. On the other hand, this is the worst way to bring them back.
What if
these never go well?
But what if the film/TV show is focused solely on the racing game Jack X?
And what if one of them is voiced by Chris Pratt?
Okay, we'll deal with my one first. We'll forget Steve said anything.
No. I have something to follow off what Steve said, but if it was based on Jack X, still, I think this would be a horror mess. Like, adapting the... Tom Holland specifically said he wanted to adapt it into live action, which would be horrible.
Yuck.
It'd have to be something animated. But off the back of what Steve said about Chris Pratt, I actually don't want that. I want Daxter to be done by Danny DeVito.
Oh.
And if they adapt it in live action, they've got to have the scene where Daxter gets dunked into Dark Eco and comes out as a Notzel, but it's got to be Danny DeVito getting dunked in and then coming back out.
All I'm thinking of when I hear we want it to be live action is just cats.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking like a Garfield thing.
If they were going to do something with this, I'd want it to be an animated film like the Ratchet and Clank film was. But even then, the Ratchet and Clank film was horrid.
Oh, I mean that was reasonably successful though. It spawned a video game. Could you imagine if Jack got a video game?
Yeah, I'd be very excited for a Jack video game.
A video game based on the movie based on the video game.
God, we're not doing that circle again. I just want a Jack 4. If this can bring interest in a new Jack game happening, then go for it. But I expect nothing but bad things from this.
I'd be nervous about that though, because I doubt it's going to be Naughty Dog that would pick up Jack 4.
I don't even know if I trust current Naughty Dog with Jack. But that's a whole other conversation to have.
It's just Last of Us 3, but with Jack and Daxter.
Jack 4 turned into The Last of Us 1.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Good thing for The Last of Us and bad thing for the direction of Jack.
He didn't make it.
Well, spoiler.
Anyway, next up on the list, we have Platinum Games talking about a change to their business strategy and game design. Does someone that does someone who has read the article want to take this one? Because I haven't.
Yeah, no, this is kind of annoying to read from Platinum Games. So, just recently, by the way, Inaba has become the president of Platinum Games, and Hideki Kamiya is now the vice president of the game. And basically they're coming out of this interview saying that their future business model is trying to make games that can be enjoyed and loved for longer periods of time, and they're kind of like trying to foresee into the next 5 years of the industry. They still want to do games like Bayonetta and Soul Cresta, which is coming soon, where it's kind of like a one run-through thing where it's a bunch of made specific levels that you can just kind of enjoy and play through. But I think the direction they want to go into the future is more like Babylon's Fall, which is coming soon, where they're going to start doing live action games, not live service games, and that's going to be really bad for them. I think they basically came out of this saying they're going to have a lot of they're expecting to have a lot of misses, but they expect to hit at least one major thing, and when that one major thing hits, that'll basically be funding them for a while.
Yeah,
that would seem like a weird strategy then, because it seems like that's kind of like the throw a bunch of things at the wall and see what sticks, and I feel like taking that approach with a development studio would be very risky in terms of starting a bunch of projects and then just switching focus when they realize that they've locked onto one that might have long-term potential, no?
Yeah, and they have a market that works well. They've got a really good market in making the Bayonettas, the Metal Gear Risings, and even Wonderful 101 was really well received.
Oh man, Wonderful 101 is so fucking good, so underappreciated.
I know, right? I can't believe only 5 people bought that game.
And 2 more bought it for the
I haven't
Switch
even
release.
heard of it.
But yeah, they're good at a specific thing, and they just need to do that thing to keep doing well. But yeah, it's very frustrating seeing them go, no, if we wanted to start doing live service games, especially when Babylon's Fall is around the corner and looks like absolute shit.
So in other words, we don't want to make games, we want to make money.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Oh, well, we will have to wait and see if the Doomsday scenario pans out. Next up on the list, we have a 20-minute video on YouTube for Ghostwire Tokyo gameplay and an interview, right?
Yeah, 10 minutes of gameplay, 10-minute interview.
That one looks quite interesting. Have we all seen that? I sort of skimmed through bits of it before.
Yeah, I got
watched
the
the
highlights.
whole thing.
Yeah, I got the highlights. I'm excited for it. It looks very good.
It looks
Yeah,
very
it looks
cool, yeah.
really fun. I think it's very cool to see a game like this where it's a first-person game, kind of adventure-y, but it's focused more around magic than it is weapons.
It gives me very big Dishonored vibes, or
Really?
Yeah, a little
a little
bit.
bit like that. And did you guys ever play Livingston
go
Battle
see that.
Mage?
No.
I didn't.
No.
Well,
I did play Dishonored though.
yeah. I'm getting the same sort of vibes from that,
Feeling.
without the
The
stealth.
world itself kind of seems a little bit like Dishonored-y, like just the way that it was sort of art style wise. But yeah, I don't know. Very
I
cool
can
game,
kind
though,
of
if I
see
look
where
at
he's
it.
coming from, where instead of the blink, you got the ability where you latch onto Tengus to go into high places.
Yeah, fair enough. I can see that. It also seems like it's pretty heavily stealth orientated, I guess.
But even doing that, like some of the gameplay stuff they showed did seem very actiony. Like they've got a lot of parry abilities and rewarding you for good action
Dishonored had that
management.
as well, actually. Yeah, okay, I can see it.
Did watching it make you more excited for the game?
Yeah, actually, because we hadn't seen a whole lot about this game earlier, so actually seeing it running and like what's on offer for the game is really exciting.
Josh, Steve, excited?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really like the premise of it. We were saying earlier, it's very like yokai, it's like Japanese spirits, like usually evil. But it's really cool. I think the art style of it by far is the most interesting part of it.
And they did a very good recreation of Tokyo as well.
Yeah, no, I'm keen for it. I'll have to keep a closer eye on it, but yeah, I'll probably end up picking it up.
Yeah, I might pick it
It's
up.
coming out fairly soon as well. March 25th.
Oh, that's a
Wow,
lot
that
sooner
is
than I thought.
quick. Okay, I expected it to be further out. Okay.
And speaking of things to keep your eye on, Josh, this one is right up your alley. We have
Yes.
the announcement of another Voice of Cards game. You want to tell us about this one?
Yeah, I mean, there's not really too much to say other than it's another Voice of Cards game in, I guess you'll call it the Voice of Cards world. I think Seth earlier called it an anthology when we were talking about it, which I think is a good way to put it. But basically, it's Voice of Cards world, same gameplay, same sort of concepts, different stories. So I smashed out the first game. I absolutely loved it. I don't think I could more highly recommend a more recent game, which actually should have been in my top 3 games actually last year. It would have made that list.
And we
but
did
the
talk
new
about
story-
it in episode... Ooh.
I think
Go
it
back
was
and-
2 or 3.
Go back and listen to all of our episodes and let me know which episode we talked about it.
No, it was an excellent game though. Super hyped for this. Like, obviously isn't too much details around it other than the fact it's a new story. It'll probably be like around the $45 mark like this one was. So if you haven't played the first one, highly recommend picking it up. It'll probably be on sale if it's not already.
First one
with the
being...
release of this game. Voice of Cards, the Isle of Dragon Roars. Quite a mouthful.
It's not a voice, that's a
I
roar.
was-
Roar of cards, I should call it.
Well, it's Voice of Cards because you don't, like, there's one voice that does all the characters throughout the story, Stephen. When you play the game, come back to me.
Yeah, I do need to
I-
play it. It does look very good.
It does look very good. It is very good.
I'd also like to highlight that this game also has DLC stuff coming with it, like the DLC card sets and boards. So the first one, Isle Dragon Roars, all the DLC stuff was based around Near Replicant and Near Gestalt. This one is all based around Near Automata, so you're getting all the Yorha cards and 2B chess pieces and things like that, which are kind of neat if you're into that.
They're only cosmetics, though. There's
They
nothing,
are, yes.
like, story-wise or any gameplay advantage, but very cool.
Yeah, just cute little things that, like, if you're into those, an extra $10 doesn't hurt.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yes, I'll give you my day one review for that week.
Next up on the list, we have Sony releasing an article about making an AI that can finally beat humans at Gran Turismo, and I just have to assume it's by cheating.
It's actually apparently beating the top Gran Turismo players as well.
By cheating.
Yes.
Insane, because the top Gran Turismo players, like, they'll just do a course for like a month straight to get better scores. So that's an achievement, to be honest.
I bet it's because they don't wait 3 seconds with the indicator on before changing lanes.
Damn those
Lanes in
people.
a racing game, you're hurting me.
So, from what I understand is that they had 2 Gran Turismo events last year, one in April and one in October. They had the AI race against the people in the Gran Turismo players in April, and it was absolutely flawed by them. And by learning what those players were doing and just improving its like race lines and just general gameplay, they got it to come back in October and floor the players instead. From what I understand, they're trying to use this AI to like implement into Gran Turismo proper, like to give players a decent challenge instead of what CPUs currently have.
So is that sort of similar to like the driver tasks that Horizon's got? Oh, sorry, that Forza's got?
It would be that's a good question. It would be kind of a similar starting point, but this would be much more refined. Like
Okay.
this would be a lot of computing resource to generate one AI set, and that's probably based on specific cars for specific tracks. Forza Horizon would use a much smaller model, but it would be much more generalized, where it would be able to pick out similar traits across multiple cars and tracks and just kind of slightly refine, say, a hard AI. So it would start from a similar place, but this would be much more focused.
Thank you, machine learning statistics-based Patrick.
I believe this would also be like taking statistics from players and like just trying to learn from what players are doing to enhance itself.
And if it was using any of mine, it would be ramming the top Gran Turismo players off of the track.
I think the one thing I really look forward to in this is you sort of get to a point in Gran Turismo where you need to improve to get better. And if you have something to compete against and compare yourself to, like if they make it agile enough that you can have a ghost that just stays ahead of you just the whole time, then you can learn what that's doing and learn the tracks better and learn how to drive better. And I think that would be really cool. So I'd love to see that in place, because in the time trials they have like a demo car to say like, this is sort of what you, or at least they did have in some of the older games, where you could basically watch this car go and like race this car and drive through it, but it would usually take sort of the best line approach. So if that did that and scaled with you, that would be really cool. So you could keep improving your score.
So what would the difference between, we're not going to get into a big chat about this now, but just gut feeling, what's the difference between having an AI that is dynamically staying ahead of you in a time trial, or, because let's say taking Horizon 5, right? If you do a time trial or any kind of rivals event on any track you want, it'll just find a player's ghost that is a second faster than you and ask, hey, do you want to race this next? Like, what, would you really get that much more from it being an AI compared to just a player's ghost?
Well, I think so, yeah, because I think if you're comparing yourself to a player that's marginally better than you, then they may be doing something that you'll get into a bad habit of, that you'll then have to lose that habit to get when you find the next ghost that's slightly better. Whereas in this, it's probably always going to take a much more refined route and just do it slowly, because that's, AI is not going to throw itself off the road. Or potentially take a really bad line just to get around a corner. I think it would just probably do it slower so that you can keep up. But yeah, it's a good question.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure, but I'd imagine there would be significant advantages just because humans, they're faulty in general.
Yeah, and I think just flowing off what Josh said a little, a player ghost is just hard set, while the AI can dynamically change mid-race.
I guess there's also opportunities where in a ghost you go through it, where if it's AI, you can actually race against it and it can dynamically adapt, so you could actually practice overtaking and everything like that, which you wouldn't be able to do with a ghost. So I think there's an advantage there as well.
That last point, yeah, certainly agree with. Anyway, we'll have to wait and see if they do end up releasing it for more people to use. Next up on the list, oh boy, NFTs, ladies and gentlemen. Who wants to chat about beating up on some sweet NFT whales?
I will, because I'll take any chance to shit on these people. So an article from Axios has outlined that Zynga is making some ambitious NFT plans. They are They want to release their first blockchain-based game this year, which I am 100% against. In general, like NFT-based gaming doesn't sound great, but their cause for doing it is something I can kind of get behind because they recognize that there's a very small handful of people that are actually into NFTs and investing in NFTs. So they just want to wring these people dry. That's it. They just want to take all their money.
Fairly noble cause, really.
It really is. Like, just
a
getting
fool
the
and his
money
money
out
are
of...
easily parted.
Yeah. Just, if we can just drain all the NFT people's money, it would be a much happier world. The only problem is that the money would be going to Zynga instead.
Oh, we've got to make Farmville 2. Farmville
less
2.
evil?
Oh no, we're up to Farmville 3 now, aren't we?
I think so, yeah.
Oh man, yeah. Can I get an NFT of my crops, please?
No.
Does my
Next up
farms exist on the blockchain?
the list. Moving on. Next up on the list, we have Telltale Games, Rising from the Ashes, Undertaker meme style, bringing us Wolf Among Us 2. I thought they were dead, but before the show, someone told me I was wrong.
Yeah, they've
Well,
been
they
back
were
for
dead
a
at one
little
point.
while.
Very close,
Yeah.
but
I think they officially shut down for quite a while, and then there was that huge like blowout about them not paying their developers.
Yeah, well,
yeah,
that's
that
what I
was,
thought. I thought that was the nail in the coffin. I thought they weren't coming back after that.
That was under the old management, and the new company is back up, and I think they've been back for about a year now. I'd have to double check myself on that one.
Anyway, the article from Gamatsu tells us that we could expect Wolf Among Us 2 in 2023.
not soon enough.
The
Not
only game that can stop them going bankrupt again. It's the only game that people wanted.
Well, we'll see if they pay their developers between now and then.
Okay, so just to touch on this quickly, LCG Entertainment relaunched Telltale back in 2018, and some former Telltale employees were skeptical of it at the time, but it seems to be okay at the moment.
Well, they
They
said,
released a game since 2018.
yeah, I don't think
What?
so.
I don't think they have either.
They shut down in 2018 and then reopened the exact same year under a new publisher.
It's been 4 years. How do they have money? Doesn't matter.
I
We'd have to
don't
get
know.
into it.
From not paying their developers.
From NFT.
Yeah, probably from selling NFTs.
Oh god.
Yeah, it's been like what,
anyway,
8
excitement for Wolf Among Us 2.
It's been 8 years. I need it. I love the first one. I thought it was fantastic.
Cool. +1 from Steve. Josh, Seth, thoughts?
I
okay.
need to play the original one still. I keep hearing it's fantastic, and I just never got around to it. I haven't gotten around to any Telltale games, actually.
I've played quite a few of them. Wolf Among Us isn't one of them, but I've heard really good things from a lot of my friends.
Yeah, I hear the graphic novel it's based on is fantastic as well.
Sweet. Well, we have that to look forward to, so long as they pay the developers and actually get a game out the door. We'll have to wait and see. Next up on the list, also again from Gamatsu, Disgaea 6 coming to PS4, PS5, and PC. Do we have a date for this?
I don't think so. Let me double check that while I talk about this. But
Yeah, go on.
this Gaia 6 came out on Switch last year, I believe, and it seemed fine. The major complaint was that it ran like shit, and in Japan it came out on PlayStation and Switch, so it was really weird that it was just Switch exclusive over here. So to fix that, the issue of the game running like shit in the West, the complete edition is coming out on PS4, PS5, and PC this year in summer.
What type of game is this guy? I hear it all the time.
It's
but I-
a JRPG.
It's a turn-based strategy RPG where the numbers go insanely high.
Oh, so
It's
just
very fun.
extend.
I recommend it.
Yeah.
Stonks!
I wish my cryptocurrency was going that high at the moment.
It's going back up. It's okay.
Yeah.
If you don't sell, you don't lose.
Yeah, if you don't pull out,
Just
you don't
continue
lose.
hodling. You'll be fine. Get the Lambo.
Diamond hands, baby.
But yeah, the game came out worldwide, I think, on Switch like halfway through last year. I haven't played this one, but I have played the previous titles for the most part. Yeah, good series. I'd pick it up on PC when it drops.
Yeah, I've got most of the games on Steam ready to go. I think the only one I'm missing is free because that's locked to PS3 and PS Vita.
Really? I thought it got re-released, but yeah, no, it's all good.
Yeah, Disgaea 6 I've actually been kind of keen on, so I'm glad it's coming to platforms where it will run well.
Sweet. And finally, before we touch the Nintendo Direct content, another 6. GTA 6, in fact. Finally, it had been rumored for ages, but we finally have official word, also from Gamatsu, that it's in development. Who wants to expand on this one?
They say it's well underway in development as well, so that makes me think that it's probably in alpha or beta phase, and not just like concept arting at the moment. At least I'd hope so.
It's been
But yeah,
9 years.
GTA 5 has been going 9 years. Jesus Christ, that's been a long time. And
Yeah.
I think the only major game they've released between GTA 5 and now is Red Dead Redemption 2, which was also a massively long game to develop and make. And
One could argue that GTA Online was its own standalone thing because of all the work that they've put into that, separate to GTA 5, the main.
And Red Dead on that floor.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
Yeah.
the online experiences are almost separate because I don't think GTA Online launched, at least not in the same way as it is now, and I guess Red Dead probably did the same thing.
yeah, they've been doing like expansion type stuff to GTA Online every few years.
I'm expecting it just to be GTA Online, but just on a different map.
God, I
Like,
hope
hey, it's
not.
GTA 6.
Oh,
I don't think it'll be that, but I think they'll make a new GTA Online for GTA 6.
There's no
So-
way they're not going to, the amount of money they make.
yeah.
So if GTA
Yeah.
5, if GTA 5 lasted 9 years, lasts 9 years, which it has. What are we thinking? GTA 6, 15 years?
15.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's got to go through another 3 generations of consoles before they
Yeah.
rumor another game.
Yeah.
We also need to hear rumors about Bully 2 in between its release and the next GTA.
Isn't it crazy that people that were born when GTA 5 came out are now like almost at high school?
Don't do this.
Not really, but yeah, close enough.
No, they'd only be in primary school. They're only 9 years old.
Yeah, almost at high school.
Yeah,
Almost in
they're
high school, yeah.
close.
They've been in primary school for 4 or 5 years. My God.
I mean, I was 18 when that game came out. Wow, life has changed. I went to the
I'm
midnight
just
release.
excited to
Everything.
see,
Got the collector's edition.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I went to the midnight release for that game as well, and I didn't like it.
I didn't like it either.
Why do you not
I
like
remember
it?
some-
Oh,
I remember some.
I've come to the
absolutely-
realization that after Red Dead Redemption, after Red Dead Redemption I liked, and I just don't like Rockstar games after that. I don't like how they feel.
I just
Fair
picked it
enough.
up and I was like, wow, this isn't Saints Row. And then I put it back down.
I remember because that came out right at like peak exam season for me in high school, and luckily GTA was never a series that I was super invested in, so I sort of just gave it a bit of a pass anyway. But I remember reading some absolutely wild stats about it was like one of the highest number of sick days taken by employees
Yeah.
around the world. When GTA 5 came out, because everyone took randomly got the flu day at the same time.
Yeah, the only games that come close to that are the Dragon Quest games in Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah, which it's almost a national holiday. It's crazy.
They have to release those games on Saturdays now because too many people took days off
Wow.
for Dragon Quest 3.
Yeah, it's nuts. The only thing I want to mention for GTA before we move on is I am just every single week Sony posts an image on the Australian store or the US store, whatever, on the Facebook page.
It's the
and
Australian
Twitter
one.
feed. There's always every single week. It's GTA 5 #1 sales because they count like the DLC stuff. Every
Unless
single
there's
week.
a brand new release, in which case it drops to like top 5.
But it's had streaks of like 30, 40 weeks. Like it needs to
Yeah,
stop.
yeah, no, I just mean like it's only when like a new exclusive comes out that'll top it.
Yeah, I don't want to see that image anymore. Please take it away.
they're just replacing the same
Absolutely
image every week.
Crazy numbers.
It hurts me. That game
It
is the
hurts me
most
so
successful
much.
game in history.
That's not Tetris. But it would
Actually,
be-
no, I
Yeah.
think Minecraft. Minecraft is
Yeah.
still the
Oh,
most
yeah, I guess.
successful.
I remember being at we did a bloody pub quiz about that, and I'm pretty sure Minecraft is still top, but like GTA 5 is easily top 5, which
Yeah.
I think it's the top 4 AAA games.
yeah, like it's bananas. Anyway, yeah, we'll have to obviously if there is more news to cover on GTA 6, we will probably more than likely cover it. But onto the main meat of what came out this week. Yesterday, in fact. Was it yesterday? Shoot. I'm
Yeah,
getting
it was
days mixed
yesterday
up.
morning.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
morning, yeah.
9 a.m.
Good. Okay. This boost is really getting to me. Nintendo Direct. We've got a bunch of things to cover here, so why don't we just laundry list our way through it? First thing that we saw, or first thing that we're going to talk about, Fire Emblem Three Hopes.
Yeah, so this is
Who wants it?
This is another Fire Emblem Dynasty Warriors style game. And this is interesting to me because it seems like they're doing another story path that's an alternate timeline to what is already in Three Houses. And that game already has 4 alternate storylines. So this is like another way to like deeply explore the Fire Emblem Three Houses world and timeline, which is kind of an interesting take.
They do love their alternate timelines, and I guess sort of you can be a Fire Emblem fan, and I'm not really that sure you'd like these Dynasty Warrior games. It is a lot more action focused.
I think the first one did fairly well.
Yeah, but it was released on it was one of the new 3DS games.
It was
And
also a Switch
Yeah,
game.
and it was on the Wii U as well, I think.
Yeah, I think it was late
Yeah.
Wii U, late 3DS,
Yeah,
and then came to Switch later.
Early Switch, yeah.
But yeah, I believe these games do fairly well, so it'll be just interesting to see. I think it'll be fun to play. I don't know if I'll get it myself, but I'll keep an eye out on it.
Seth, Steve, Josh, similar thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, new Fire Emblem games are always good, so yeah, no, I'm keen.
Yeah, I probably won't be getting it. I don't care. I need to go back and play Fire Emblem. I love it. I want to play it
Also,
again, but I won't.
Can't wait for it
Also
to introduce a character that we'll see in the next Smash game.
More
Oh,
sci-fi,
God damn it.
more sword fighters.
Also,
Please,
just before we
right
move
now.
off it, just forgot to mention it's already got a release date announced. It's coming June 24th.
Oh, ages away.
Sweet. Next up in the direct list, we have Advanced Wars 1 and 2 coming April 8th. I never played either of these.
Oh, they're amazing games. They're like grid-based, turn-style combat. You basically fight off two wars. You each have one of 18 different types of units. I think it's 18. And then a commanding officer. And it's kind of like Fire Emblem if it was an RTS. So you have, well, it's not real time though. It's grid-based, but it's actual combat units, and you sort of send them to fight each other. And no, they're very, very good games. Rather than having like a hero unit or a character with a plot, you will have a
Or a
soldiers,
character
basically.
with a plot. Sorry, it's just
Yeah.
it's like a funny thing. That's like a unit of game. You can have a character with plot, or
or you can have just a generic NPC soldier. No, I loved the Advance Wars games. I played them a lot as a kid. So I'm very keen for that.
Yeah, I'm also very keen on this. I haven't played Advance Wars before, but Way Forward does good jobs with their remasters of everything, and they added voice acting into this game, which sounds pretty great.
Really?
I can't. Yeah, all the commanders have voice acting now. I cannot wait to hear Christina V in another game because she's in every Way Forward game, and
Interesting.
yeah, it looks
Advance
really
Wars
cool.
was
I'll
never
get
released
it.
never supposed to release in a Western market, and then there was a demand for it, so they brought it over years later, and then it blew up. So yeah, no, I'm excited.
Yes, Fire Emblem was kind of the same way, where there was no hope of that coming to the West, and then they put a couple of characters in Smash Brothers, and there was suddenly a demand.
anything to add, Steve?
I sleep for this one. It just seems like Fire Emblem with tanks and stuff. It's just
It's more fun.
it's nothing new. It's an old game. It's with a new hat.
Fair
But it's got
enough.
a new hat.
Yeah.
New hats are cool. Do you have anything to comment on No Man's Sky coming to Switch this summer?
I'm very
I sleep.
fair. I'm not gonna get it. I've already fried myself out of No Man's Sky. I put more than probably 50 or 60 hours from both the PS4 and the Xbox versions. I just want to know how they actually do this. It's pretty intense game. It looks great on the general console. I'm not really sure how they're supposed to be running it. Are they gonna cap it at 30 frames or
144p.
something? Or
It does look like they lowered the fidelity across the board on the game for Switch.
yeah,
No,
which
no,
is-
don't worry about it. They'll just run it in cloud mode. You'll just stream it.
yeah. So that's what I
It
thought.
might be
As-
cloud mode.
As soon as they said this, I'm like, all right, it's gonna be cloud mode. That's the only way they're gonna be able to do it. But no, it's the full game, which I'm very surprised and skeptical.
They didn't specifically say it wasn't cloud mode, did they?
No, but I get the feeling it'd be one of those things that they would have said it straight away if it was with the Kingdom Hearts stuff. They advertise it specifically as being
Yeah,
how good.
maybe.
Okay, since you brought it up, I'll also just bring this up the list. Kingdom Hearts Cloud Edition was shown. It's already out. It's horrible.
Yeah.
Apparently, if you're inactive for 3 minutes, the game will kick you out of playing the game.
Oh fuck
Oh
off.
my god.
Wow, that's horrible.
Hey, I need to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Oh no, did I save? Oh no.
Yeah. Gotta go take the tendies out of the microwave. Oh no.
I haven't seen anyone that specifically say this happens, but I'd love to see that it kicks you out for watching a cutscene and not touching the controller.
True, it would do that as well. Oh.
Oh man.
You're
Surely
just
not.
jamming out to simple and clean, and then boom, you're out.
Oh no, I have to
Wow.
watch it again.
You're just staring at like one piece of an item and then just googling to see if it's better or whatever, and then
Yeah,
just
yeah.
boots you.
You
Oh,
get
God.
soft lock because you can't get through a cutscene fast enough.
But also, it's just got the general like cloud problems of it's unresponsive, it's buggy. Oh,
Yeah.
actually, there's actually a new glitch with this version of the game where you can actually one-hit KO a ton of bosses in Kingdom Hearts 2 now.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure how it works, but they bugged one of the Trinity Limit ability, and now it just one-hit KOs bosses.
All
Excellent.
right.
Fantastic.
Fair enough.
It's the best
New
way to play
speedrun
Kingdom Hearts without
category.
the boss fights.
Next up on the list, Mario Strikers. I'm keen. Anyone else?
I am super keen. I love what they did where the super moves have the arts, like they start going super shaded and cel shady looking with massive outlines, like the cover arts and the concepts art for these Mario Strikers games. I think
I
that
really
looks
like that too.
fantastic.
What about the original Persona Striker? No, it looks good.
Good take.
The only thing I'm iffy on for this game is the gear system affecting stats.
Yeah, that looks kind of interesting because I assume characters, because they have their own different abilities, will also have some sort of inherent stats as well.
Yeah, and I feel like whenever these happen, eventually people just find a meta gear set for characters, and
There'll be some micro optimization that everyone will just run.
It might be like Mario Kart where it affects your play style, so it could work.
it could, but I feel like with a like more direct approach, you'll just want to go with like this specific set makes my character the best in these areas, and that'll be like.
And it'll be a Mario hat, and it will be an NFT. So you have to buy it to import it.
Other things I like. 8 players can use the same Switch console to play. I think that's
Yeah,
great.
that's pretty good.
Am I crazy? I thought Switch on launch you could only have 7 things connected to it because it was a 4 and a 3 on the LED lights. Have you always been able to do 8?
No, I'm pretty sure it's always been 8.
Yeah, I'm
you
sure
could
it's
do
always
8,
been
yeah.
8.
Okay, maybe I'm thinking of something else, some other system.
I'm
Anyway,
pretty
8
it
on the
might
same
be-
console, sweet. Looks good. Thing that I like, another thing that I like, that Bowser can just handball the ball, and the
Yeah,
ref
he
doesn't give
just
a
picks
shit.
it up.
Yeah, it's just
It's Bowser. What are you gonna do?
Yeah,
He's
so
paid
he
off the
just-
ref.
Yeah, he just doesn't give a shit. Yeah, it's cool. And the electric fence, where during the trailer we saw Luigi getting thrown into multiple times.
Poor Luigi.
Poor Luigi.
They're cowards, though. They didn't show Daisy in all her glory. These Mario Strikers games are where Daisy shines the best, and they're cowards for not showing her.
They showed Rosalina, so
Fair
it was
enough,
fine.
but I am
Rosalina Vesco.
very keen for this.
Can confirm.
It comes out June 10th and is available for pre-order now. And my wallet. I'll definitely be getting the voucher, the 2-for-1 voucher thing that
Yeah, the
Nintendo
eShop
Shop
voucher.
Yeah,
offers.
those are
Just
good.
literally
Yeah.
all they're called, yeah.
I'll definitely be vacuuming up a couple of those bad boys. Anyway, next up on the list, Splatoon 3.
I sleep.
I sleep, yeah.
Damn it, Steve. Damn it, Josh. Yeah, they showed off this updated version of Salmon Run, which is a co-op mode in the game where it's just kind of a horde defense mode. But they capped it off by showing like this big boss salmon that's very obviously mimicking Godzilla. There's a bunch of updates in there that Splatoon fans will love, like being able to throw the eggs to each other to get them to the save points. Is very appreciated from what I've seen. Looks like
So-
more Splatoon. Looks fantastic. They confirmed it's coming out in summer.
So basically, who would win, 2 Squiddy Boys or Godzilla?
It's 4 Squiddy Boys or
4 Squiddy
or,
Boys. Oh,
or,
Do-
or,
do the squids
or
have-
the octopus
Did the
ones.
squids have gender? I thought they were weird. Kids.
No, they're male or female. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never played a Splatoon game, and this probably will not.
everything has to be. That's God's plan.
God's Plan. It's a good song by Drake.
I wonder if Splatoon 3 is going to actually be more open about that, because I believe Splatoon 2 was like male female, but like all the customization stuff was the same between the genders, so
Good.
it didn't matter too much.
As long as they have a paint bucket that I can use to stomp kids online with, we're good.
Yeah, the paint bucket
OP.
was so good.
So
Paint bucket was so
visceral.
good they put it in Smash.
Yeah, just people sitting there shooting at you, and you're just like, yeah, I'm just gonna dunk a bucket of paint on you, real Home Alone style. No, it'll be interesting. I don't know. I'm kind of in between. I'm wake, and I'm not quite I'm sleep. So we'll have to see. Next up on the list though, Front Mission Remake. I've never played this.
I've never heard
Tell
of
me
this.
about it. Someone.
I haven't played Front Mission either, but these are another like strategy RPG sort of games, I believe. At least Front Mission 1 and 2 2 are. Front Mission 1's getting remade, coming in summer, and Front Mission 2 remake also got confirmed, but it's coming later. And it's just kind of cool seeing these be remade because these are old, like, really old, like SNES or PS1 games. So bringing them to current generation consoles is a great thing, honestly, and just something worth highlighting.
Cool.
They also look cool just based on the trailer, so I'll probably be checking these out.
Yeah, they do look pretty good. I'm a massive fan of strategy games like that, so I'll probably give it a go as well.
I also just really like mechas.
Yeah, mechas are cool.
Fair enough. Next up on the list, we have Star Wars The Force Unleashed, specifically the Wii version. It's being ported to Switch, coming out very soon, April 20th, in fact. Force Unleashed, I never actually played, but I know... Oh, no, I played the... I think it was the demo. I played something to do with The Force Unleashed, but it wasn't the full game, and I don't remember what it was on. It was a while ago.
I played the PS3 version of The Force Unleashed. I love that it's specifically the Wii version being ported because they're including all the motion controlled jank for the Joy-Cons in this. So it'll be great to see that.
I played The Force Unleashed on PSP, and I must have finished it a dozen times. I loved that game, and I smashed it out. And when you said The Force Unleashed, I was like, yes. And you're like, Wii version. I'm like, oh.
I've heard a lot of people say that the Wii version is surprisingly the best version of the game, maybe?
It's not, they're lying to you.
I don't think any Wii version has been a good version.
Yeah, like
including the first party games.
It runs at barely 15 frames a second.
I mean, maybe now it'll run at a good frame rate.
On a Switch, it's barely powerful on the Wii.
Yeah, in handheld mode it is.
You're right, it's the Switch. Nothing runs well on that.
No, they'll compensate by making it cloud streaming.
Oh, don't. But
imagine the fidelity between like
it,
streaming with like motion controls. Fucking hell.
You know what? I was going to make a joke, but I'm saving it for later just to stab Patrick later.
Fair enough. Next up on the list, we have Chrono Cross Remaster. I never played these games either, but coming out April 7th. Someone that has played this wanna stand up?
Have any of us actually played Chrono Cross?
I haven't. I want to play the Chrono games. They're on my list, and Cross Remaster coming out is just the best opportunity to actually get into this.
I was hoping it was going to be like a complete rebuild from the ground up, almost like a 7 remake type of thing.
I kind of was as well, or like even what they did with Final Fantasy VIII Remaster. This looks a little more like they did machine learning for all the upraising, and it looks ugly.
Yeah,
but
it doesn't.
Thankfully,
it doesn't look very good. But at the same time, maybe it's a stream. Maybe it's like not final footage type of thing. Maybe it actually looks better in a handheld mode or on your actual TV.
I was actually really hoping it would be like a pixel remaster, like the first 5 Final Fantasy games that they've done. But this is not really
Chrono
what I
Cross was a
wanted.
PS1 game, so that wasn't happening.
I thought it was more pixely.
No, it was always a 3D game.
You're thinking of Chrono Trigger.
Yeah,
Am
you're
I?
thinking of Trigger.
Yeah.
Trigger was a SNES game.
Yeah, because I thought this was Trigger when I first saw it. Yeah, so both of those games are on
I'm
that
getting
list.
it confused.
Yeah, and so we were mentioning like the machine upscaling looks a bit ugly, but there's a toggle so you can go back to the older look of the game, which does look pretty fine on the consoles. I just want to point out as well, this is coming to basically everything as well. I believe it's coming to Xbox,
Xbox, we've
PlayStation, and PC as well.
Well, this is a Nintendo Direct.
Yeah, this was announced on Nintendo Directs, but afterwards they said it was coming to everything.
Yeah,
This happens sometimes.
But
yeah,
no, I definitely play it. I've heard good things about it. I hear it's very underrated. People sort of focus a lot on Chrono Trigger.
Yeah, people either really love this game or really hate this game. There's absolutely no middle ground for it. But one more thing to highlight for this announcement is that they're finally localizing Radical Dreamers, which was a Super Famicom text adventure game that was like sort of a prequel to Chrono Cross, and it just never came out over to the West because of how it was handled in Japan. There was like no real way to release it over here, so having this included with the remaster is a great thing to do.
Sure. As I say, I never really played it, but sounds good, and hopefully they do it well. Next up on the list, we have one that we are all going to be very excited to get more of, which is Kirby. Kirby's Lost World,
The
right?
Forbidden Land, I think it is.
Yeah, Forbidden Lands.
Forbidden Land. Yeah. Anyway, super excited about this. We saw a gameplay trailer, and we had probably the most memeable thing to come out of a Nintendo Direct for a long time, which is Kirby's mouthful mode. And my God, the memes.
I thought it was his foreskin.
Stop! You're ruining Kirby for me.
I had such a visceral reaction to Kirby being stuck on the car like that.
I was like both super excited and positively disgusted at the same time. I was like, please don't add this into, like, don't make this canon. But I think it looks fun. I'm keen.
From a gameplay perspective, it looks really fun, and on a like meta level for the series, I find it hilarious that Kirby's finally found things he can't eat.
I mean,
Or
yeah,
like he's found things that he can like partially eat. Like he can eat some, but not all of it.
He just attaches himself to it like a parasite.
in the case of the vending machine, like, it looks like he actually like fully swallowed the vending machine, but he's just using the power, like, which is really cool. I love the water balloon power mode that they showed off, where he's just spitting out water. 10 out of
The
10.
Mario Sunshine ability.
I don't know. I guess it's a Mario Sunshine ability. It didn't occur to me.
It's a Mario
but-
Sunshine ability.
Yeah, I just didn't occur to me when I was looking at the Kirby part, but that's, oh man, I'm so keen for this game.
So,
It
yeah,
looks
I was
incredible.
already excited for this. This has made me even more excited. This is one that I will absolutely be pre-ordering once I have money.
I've already pre-ordered it.
It does look like a fantastic game, and I do appreciate that they've got a thing in the game as well where you upgrade your abilities, so you still keep like the core flame and everything, but they've got a reason now to like upgrade them into different abilities themselves, and the dragon form at the max level for the fire looks absolutely amazing.
Yeah, no, all of this like looks just like amazing to me. Like everything that Kirby was, it just directly translated really well into this setting as a 3D platformer. So I'm really keen, really keen.
The most disappointing part of this isn't even about Kirby. It's the fact that Kirby looks so good just from those trailers that how did Pokemon Legends Colon Arceus look so bad?
Wait, save it for later. I gotta stab you about that later.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, next up on the list we have MLB Switch. Sick meme. I will probably never play a baseball game on Switch, but kind of cool, I guess.
God, it looks so bad, actually. Like, I paid attention to it when I was going through the direct again. And yeah, just it looks so bad on Switch. But I think it's absolutely hilarious that the MLB is forcing Sony to release this on other consoles. So now you're going to get a Switch game that has a Sony Studios logo popping up on screen.
Is anyone planning on picking this up, Steve?
No, I'm not a fan of.
I sleep.
Yeah, I sleep as well. Like, it's got crossplay
Yeah, I
and
sleep.
stuff, but I don't care. I think it'll probably come to Game Pass. So
Imagine
Just-
buying a game twice for the sake of taking it on the train with you for a baseball game. No thanks.
No,
I can't
this means you
remember
can
if we
play a
talked-
baseball game at a baseball game.
Oh my god.
I can't remember if we brought it up last week, but the cover art for this game actually goes hard for one of the special editions, and they
True.
got the artist. They got the artist for Afro Samurai to do the cover of the special edition, and it looks sick.
Is that why it looks so sick? Oh, okay, fantastic. Yeah, I thought it was just like, all right, cool. We've just gone hard on the image, but no, if it's from Afro Samurai, that's why then.
They put all their budget into the cover art. Oh, cool.
Was it
yeah.
the special edition cover, did you say?
Yes.
I think, yeah, that's cool. I'm just looking at it now. That looks sick.
Anyway, next up on the list, we have Klonoa 1 and 2. Never played these. I'm kind of in the I sleep reaction to this.
I'm also sleeping.
I enjoy platformers a lot, and I know Klonoa is big for a lot of people. I haven't played them myself, but I've been interested in it. I've seen Klonoa 1 played all the way through, and it looks like a really fun game, and they're remaking Klonoa 2 for the first time, so this will be a great time to get onto this game.
Sweet. That's a good summation. Speaking of platformers, Portal 1 and 2 coming to the Switch.
Is Portal a platform?
Yay!
I don't know. If
I
Portal's a
put
platformer.
Portal as more of a puzzle game.
Yeah, I put a puzzle game.
A puzzle
I
platformer.
I think most people have played Portal at this point. I just think it's just funny and worth mentioning that this is like, I guess technically Valve's next release after Half-Life Alyx, which is like their only game that they've made in since Dota 2.
Do you reckon they're
but-
re-releasing
Did
this
they
on the
even
Switch to
make
sort of get a
Dota
new
2,
audience?
or did they just publish that?
So what was that, Seth?
I said, did they even make Dota 2, or did they just publish that?
I think they technically made it with the help of Ice Frog, who's no longer
it was
part
a
of
joint
Dota 2.
thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. I think everyone that hasn't played Portal should absolutely pick it up and play it. But I'd recommend playing it on PC or even the orange box on 360. To be honest with you, it's an old game.
I just find the optics really funny because we have the Steam Deck coming soon, which is everyone's calling the Switch killer, and here we have Portal being released onto the Switch, where it's like
that's a good point.
and Portal being on the Steam Deck will be a possibility soon as well.
And it will
Anyway,
run so much
that's
better.
all my thoughts on it. Yeah, Portal 1, Portal 2, good games. Do you need to play them on the Switch when you have access to them on PC for probably cheaper?
Definitely for cheaper. I mean, I got Portal 1 for free in like 2011, so I'm sure that it probably goes on sale pretty consistently.
And now I'm looking forward to Pat butchering a name of a game.
What? Live a live? I'm kidding. Live alive. Is getting
Yes,
an
beautiful.
HD2.
Did you really know, or was it Josh's laugh that gave it away?
No, but from the direct, they said it live alive.
Okay, good. You didn't butcher.
No, this one. I'll be honest. Initially, I thought I sleep, but by the end of the trailer, I wake. I'm actually kind of excited with this one.
Yeah, this is really cool, and this is the first time it's coming to the West as well. This is a fairly
yeah.
old game, and it's being localized for the first time
It looks
in
really
a
good.
fantastic way.
Yeah, I'm keen for it. I'll definitely pick it up. It seems like way up my alley as a type of game. So hell yeah.
Coming out July 22nd. Any thoughts?
It looks like a good version of Octopath Traveler, or at least what Octopath Traveler was trying to achieve.
Octopath
I'd
Traveler
agree
was
with that.
good. It just didn't. It's just too many random encounters. It just got monotonous. But the actual gameplay loop and the fighting mechanics and everything were good. But yeah, anyway, I disagree with that. But I think this has potential to be better. So yeah.
Steve, any thoughts?
I sleep.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I
You seem to be sleeping a lot during this Nintendo Direct. I'm going to be very curious about your score at the end.
Because he has Nintendo Xbox stocks, he can't drop his stock back.
When we get to the end and I'm giving an overall score on this, I will make my feelings on this direct very apparent. And you'll understand why I sleep so much.
It's okay. 10 out of 10 for Tycho.
Next up on the list, we have Nintendo Switch Sports, a welcome edition harkening back to, what was the previous one? Wii U Resort?
Yeah, the Wii U one actually had one, yeah, and they did it in a really stupid way where you had to buy passes.
But
Really?
it's been many years, so this was a welcome sight, a welcome return, where we have badminton, soccer, volleyball, bowling, tennis, and it's like sword fighting, isn't it?
Chambara.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Fencing,
Yeah,
right?
coming out April 29th, and the best part, we have online playtests happening soon. Yeah?
Next weekend.
Yeah, next week actually, yeah.
You have to sign up from the 6th. So you sign up on the 16th, and you can play on the 17th, the 18th, and the 19th, if I remember correctly. I've never been more awake in my entire life.
Online playtest happening 18th to 20th. I guess that's probably Australian
One
dates.
more day. But it's only for 45 minutes. It's ridiculous.
Oh wow, that's really
You got
short.
45 minutes.
Yeah, that's really dumb.
And if it fucks up, which it probably will, oh well.
More importantly, I
And we
don't
also
have to buy
have,
Mario Golf now
yeah,
because they're
well-
reskinning it.
I was going to say, speaking of golf, we have coming in spring as free DLC, I think they said. And
Yeah.
there was also some update to the soccer mode that they were going to do as a little later on. I think it was the leg.
I thought that was going to be in from the start, where you get the leg strap that comes with Wii Fit, not Wii Fit, Ring Fit Adventure, and you can attach the Joy-Con to your leg and kick the
Is
ball
that
into
where that's
the
from?
goals.
They mentioned it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah,
they're
that's
introducing
what's
a new peripheral.
No,
and they
had
mentioned
that
it
for
so
Ring Fit.
casually.
No, it sounded like they were doing something with the soccer mode that was coming as free DLC later on. So there's this regular soccer mode, and then there's an addition or an extension to it in some way. Anyway, yeah, super hyped for this one. It'll be fun. It'll be a nice sequel to 1-2 Switch, which was kind of a shit, I don't know, tech demo for the Switch.
I'm fairly keen on this, but I will be even more excited when they re-add boxing into it.
Yeah, I want to
Fair.
play boxing.
Yeah. Next up on the list, Taiko no Tetsujin, also known as Drum Simulator. We got over 500 songs coming to this one, but I'm still not super keen for this. I'm not discounting it, but this sort of game never really enthused me, even though some of the soundtracks...
rhythm games?
I like rhythm games. I just don't like... I feel like this one's going to be like Joy-Con motion rhythm games, and I can't really be fucked.
It should come
Yeah.
with a drum kit that you can tap. Most of the Taiko games come with a specialized controller with a drum, and you can tap on it. So I imagine that will probably come with that kit.
Donkey Kong bongos?
Effectively, yeah.
Yeah, I think you could play these with Donkey Kong bongos at one point.
Yeah, I think so.
But yeah, I think the main release is coming with 30-ish songs, and it's a subscription you gotta subscribe to get over 500 songs.
I think it was a bit over
But-
30. But yeah,
Maybe,
not
but
many.
also
Under
with-
100.
Also worth pointing out was in the game's track list is they're putting Megalovania in there because of course they are.
Yeah, they're putting in quite a few
10 out
that
of 10.
are interesting enough to play. But yeah, I don't know. That's a wait and see for me.
If it didn't require a physical purchase, so I can get the drums, I'd probably give it a go. But
Bro, just digitally
wouldn't be
download the
doing
drums.
Subscription. Yeah, sure.
You wouldn't
Would
download
you download a car?
You wouldn't download a drum kit.
You would download a drum kit.
Fucking watch me.
No, I'm just curious, just while we're on this, I wonder if it's going to be part of, and it probably won't be because it's not first party, but yeah, they're obviously adding various DLC packs into the Switch Online. I wonder if this subscription will be one of them that you get for the
I
premium
doubt it
service.
because this is a third party
Yeah.
company and not Nintendo.
But Nintendo might pay them to add it in because they don't really have a lot of stuff they're putting in there, but I doubt it as well.
I guess they did with the Sega Genesis stuff. They paid Sega to do those on the pass.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see it happen because I don't think that many people are going to shell out for an extra 500 songs on a subscription service. But if it wasn't subscription, right, I think more people would. But subscription is not everything has to be a subscription, guys. Move on.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's ridiculous. Like I don't really care about this game, but it's weird how they've got a subscription model. For yeah, it's just weird. Maybe it says a lot about our society, to be honest.
Thank you for that
Capitalism, baby.
philosophical insight from Steve. Metroid Dread also got a bit of a feature in the Direct. We are getting a first major update featuring 2 new difficulty modes. Dread mode and Rookie mode, where Dread mode looks like it's just an Oko
Yeah, it's an
playthrough.
Oko, yeah.
Yep, one hit KO playthrough. And Rookie mode heals you double the amount of what the regular mode does. So basically, they're just adding extreme hard mode and very easy casual mode right now.
So you got Sigma and Chad mode.
Yeah, basically. They're also doing a second update in April that's going to add a boss rush mode, which is very appreciated. People have been asking for that.
That's cool. Any other thoughts to add to it?
I sleep.
Not really. I don't think I'm going to touch the updated difficulty modes. They seem a bit excessive, but I'll probably go back to the game when the boss rush mode comes out.
Fair enough.
The only thing I want to mention is that I personally didn't expect Metroid Dread to get updates in general. So this was a surprise to me, and if they add more content to the game or even DLC after the fact, I think that'd be a good thing for the
Battle
Metroid
Royale
series. So, God no. Okay, no, I take that back. I don't want it anymore.
Subscription-based Battle Royale mode?
God no.
Who let Patrick have the microphone?
Sorry. From one of the things which we all watched the Direct pretty much simultaneously when it was streaming live, and let's just say when we started seeing little hints of Mother, there were a couple of us that were really excited for what could have been a hinted Mother 3, only to have that
God, this trailer was so evil.
the biggest
It was.
rug pull of the entire Direct. Seth, how are you feeling? Have you recovered?
Yeah, because honestly, it's not surprising. They keep doing this to Mother fans.
They do. I mean,
Truly the most oppressed peoples. I don't know how they keep getting
They
away with
are even more oppressed than the X-Bros.
I mean,
it. So
I
if they
feel
want
like
Mother 3 on the Xbox, right?
Oh, imagine.
you
Oh my
guys
god,
are
imagine if they
listening,
put it on
reach
Xbox
out.
or Nintendo consoles. Oh my god. But no, I was watching this laughing because I mean I haven't played the Earthbound games yet. I've seen people play them; they look very good. I think I'd really enjoy them, but I haven't played them yet. So even having the opportunity to play the Earthbound games is going to be really good. But I'm hoping that the build up for this and the release of these 2 games will be like a test or a push to see if they really need to localize Mother 3.
But they did that on the Wii U already.
Yeah,
No one bought the Wii
No
U.
one played the Wii U.
Seth, breathe.
These
breathe.
games, these games sold very well on the Wii U for what the Wii U market base was.
Yeah, but that's not. It's not enough.
It's like
not
two
for the
people.
Wii U. Yeah, I was one of them.
It sold more than Wonderful 101.
Well, I've never even heard of that, so I don't even know what that is.
It's okay. Only 5 people bought that game.
There you
Yeah,
go.
and 6 people brought Mother. No wonder it sold better.
Earthbound, yeah.
But it's
yeah.
interesting how it's coming to the Switch Online servers. Like, it's not for sale. You can't buy it. We're not giving Nintendo money to prove that we want it. They're giving it to us because they know we want it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, they're
And,
giving it to you so you pay the subscription service, but yeah.
I'm already paying the subscription service.
Is this going to the premium one though, or is this
No,
going
it's
to
just the standard
regular?
one.
No.
Because it's a
Oh,
SNES
yeah.
game.
Yeah.
Oh, SNES game, yeah, you're right.
The premium one just adds Nintendo 64 and Sega Genesis stuff
Yeah.
and whatever DLC they've done. But Nintendo Entertainment System and Super Nintendo are all on the base pass.
Yeah, no, okay. I'm definitely going to play them though, as long as they actually run. I'll play them.
Maybe give it a week or
God,
two.
they're going to do GPA at some point. They're going to do Mother 3 on that, and it's going to be behind the premium
Yeah,
pass.
keep telling yourself that, just like it'll come out when the Switch 2 gets out.
If they ever do
well,
They've
well,
literally
the
been-
general
Oh my
idea,
God.
Mother 3's
the
been
general
trying to be
idea I'm trying
localized.
to-
Mother 3's been trying to be localized for like 20 million years.
the general idea I'm trying to push is that whenever they do the GBA, it's going to be behind the premium pass.
It will be, and I will pay for that. The GBA was the best handheld console that has ever existed. So
Keep telling yourself
Yeah,
that, buddy.
yeah,
The PSP and the
for a
Vita
fact.
are right
Okay,
here.
that's a Josh and a Seth.
And the
take.
3DS.
Nintendo DS.
the
Technically,
Nintendo
Switch
DS
is a
was
portable
great, but
console as well.
nah.
So.
nothing held my attention like.
So
the
they have
GBA.
these flip phones right now, and you can emulate.
They're sent to a repair shop for about 6 weeks,
Yeah.
but when they come back,
Knock,
They didn't get
knocking a
donuts.
snake checking in.
It's literally like you've got a DS in your pocket.
That's the whole reason I bought the Fold. But yeah, no, I guess we can move on. We're still not getting Mother 3. Earthbound looks great. If you haven't played it, you should probably play it. I will be one of you, and yeah, probably review that at some point in the coming weeks.
So we've been,
Mother fan very excited to play Mother for the first time.
So
Yeah.
we've had a lot of chat about whether something would be behind Nintendo's premium subscription service, and one thing that we got from the direct that is available behind Nintendo's premium subscription service is an update to Mario Kart 9. What? Sorry, no, typo. Mario Kart 8. Track pack. Woo.
It's been like 6 years since this came out on the Switch, and they're finally updating
It
it.
was basically a launch title on Switch, wasn't it? I
And-
remember getting
and-
this
Yeah,
very
it
soon
wasn't
after
long
I got the
after.
Switch.
And
When
don't
I got
forget,
the
this
Switch,
came
it
out
was like
originally on
launch.
the Wii U.
Yeah.
Did.
Don't believe their
Yeah,
I
lies.
had it on the
it had
Wii
an
U.
entire season pass on the Wii U.
Haven't they had the entire Splatoon franchise that's existed after Mario Kart 8?
Yes.
Yeah, they have.
Yes, they have.
They've had multiple franchises that have existed since.
They can't keep
But
getting
no,
away with it.
these are the same developers as Splatoon. Like this development team specifically is the same as the Splatoon ones. So they've done 3 Splatoon games in between Mario Karts.
Crazy. Anyway, so we have a season pass bringing 48 new tracks to the game. Sorry,
Which
not
is
new.
doubling the amount of tracks to the game. That's insane.
Yeah, 48 tracks. Some of them are new. Some of them are remasters of old tracks. By the end of 2023,
Which is 2
they're being
years.
released in waves and will cost $25 for all 48 tracks. Or, as I said, you can get it with their premium online subscription service. Thoughts on this versus just having it as Mario Kart 9? I've seen mixed opinions.
So, on one hand, I'd really like a Mario Kart 9 that updates everything, but we're also kind of getting to the end of the Switch's life. Then again, there's always rumors that a new Switch model is coming out, so it would have been cool to have Mario Kart 9 as a launch game.
Didn't last
It will
week
be at the end of 2023.
Didn't last week we reported that we're only halfway through the life cycle anyway?
Yeah,
Yeah, but we were also speculating that maybe they'll do like a Switch 2 as
Yeah.
like the
Yeah, Switch.
to extend the life. Yeah, the Switch.
stop.
This new Switch 3DSU.
Yeah.
Switch.
Mario Kart 8 is a very good game, so just getting more content to that game is also appreciated. At least there's new stuff coming to a Mario Kart and a reason to go back to it.
And some of the tracks are being pulled in from Mario Kart on Tour, which is the phone game, which I've actually played probably more than I'd like to admit for what the game was on phone. But some of those tracks are
Really?
interesting.
I haven't
Yeah,
actually
I
tried
actually
it
played
at
quite a
all.
bit of it.
Oh, yeah.
How is it?
Yeah.
I haven't touched it.
Oh,
I don't know
It's-
anyone that's touched it until now.
Yeah.
It fits very well for what it is. It's not a fully fledged Mario Kart experience, and by default it has all the assists on, and honestly I can't really be bothered turning them off because I don't take it too seriously. But it is a full Mario Kart game. Like, it feels like you're playing Mario Kart, just with a little bit more hand-holding because it's on a phone, obviously. But no, like some of the track designs, like it all runs really smoothly. It's yeah, surprisingly fun. I actually don't know anyone else that plays it, and I sort of come and go with it because it's got that model where it's just very seasonal. So it's like if you don't get your login bonus for a week, then you come back like a week or two later and everything's shifted over, and it's very pay to win, and all the prices are just absolutely just whack. So
Yes.
there's a meme that you guys might have seen of Diddy Kong in Mario Kart Tour costing more than 48 new tracks in Mario Kart 8.
Which is
And-
insane.
Yeah,
and it wasn't by a small
it's like
amount
25 US. It's 25 USD to get this DLC for Mario Kart 8.
Yeah.
Or you can spend 35 USD to get Diddy
I
Kong
thought it
in
was
Mario
39,
Kart Tour.
but yeah, either way.
Was it
it's- I'm
39?
pretty sure it was 39. But
God, that's even worse.
Yeah.
it's insane. When you think 39 USD, like that translates to literally a full game in Australian dollars.
Yeah, no, all
Which
of
is
the like there is technically competitive that they try and push every so often in Mario Kart on Tour. I've never touched it, probably never will, because it's, as I say, very pay to win. But just in terms of, sitting on a bus waiting to get from point A to point B, yeah, doing a Mario Kart race, it works as well as you'd expect. It's solid.
The big thing I would have liked for a 9 really is what Tor is doing with an updated roster and costumes. There's no reason they couldn't do that with 8, but I don't see them doing it, honestly.
Yeah.
But I know that Tor has Pauline in it, which Pauline's been big for the Mario series since she came back with Mario Odyssey.
Yeah.
And just a new game to refresh the roster would have been great.
I fucking hate this so much. It's it's padding it out for the sake of padding it out.
Are we? We all gonna buy the tracks, or what are we thinking? You gonna sign up for the subscription pass instead?
We were joking about it earlier in the podcast, but I want to know what everyone's gonna go with. Are you gonna go with the subscription model for getting it for the online pass, or are you gonna buy it outright? I am buying it outright myself.
I don't know if I'm gonna get it because I never play Mario Kart by myself, and I don't live with enough people that we regularly play Mario Kart anymore. Because I did, back when I lived in a flat with a bunch of other people, we used to play Mario Kart all the time. But if I was still in that flat, I would buy it outright. If I will buy it, I will buy it outright, but I don't know if I'll buy it. Josh?
And Josh?
Yeah, so did Steve answer already? He said no.
He said no.
Yeah, so I ended up having to... Well, my Nintendo Switch Online ran out, so I ended up getting the Premium Pass because of the family pack. I have multiple people that want to play the Animal Crossing one, so it was literally cheaper to add everyone to a family pack with that, rather than each of us buy the DLC separately. So I ended up doing that. So I'll probably download it and give the tracks a go, but they don't look as polished as what the Mario Kart 8 ones do to me. They look like phone ports, but
yeah, some of the tracks are from Tor, and you can tell from a glance. But
like some of them
think
look
some
quite
of the
good.
other ones, whatever's coming from other games should look great.
So the biggest concern I have is that with the 48 tracks, when they say that there's a track coming from Tour, what Tour does is they say this is a track, let's say Mushroom Kingdom, and then as a separate track, they'll say this is Mushroom Kingdom, and they'll give it a variant name like R1 or L3 or something. And what that means is that they'll stick a bunch of ramps in random places to slightly change the track. They'll give it more elevation or something, but it's the same area. It's the same environment. It's just driven slightly differently. I haven't seen them rule out that of the 48 tracks, they are distinct 48 environments. So if it so happens that of those 48 tracks, let's say 8 of them are just variants of a track because that's how Tour does it, that's going to change my opinion on this.
I don't think they do that. They're specifically pointing out that they're pulling from every past game.
Yeah, that was my interpretation as well, because they said all these past games. So
I want that to be the case. I'm just saying if they do it the way Tour does tracks,
it's a deep-rooted fear you have.
It is because Tour has a habit of doing that because it's a very mobile game way of saying, oh look, it's a different track. You're like, no, it's not.
I think the fun way you could go with that approach is if it was one track, but if they did like what the Excite Bike Arena does, and they have like a bunch of different layouts that you could do, and whatever Tour tracks are in the game, they have different layouts that just it randomly cycles through depending on which version of the track it's going to be based on.
I don't know. It's a wait and see. I don't know if I'll buy it, but if I do buy it, it'll definitely be purchased.
I can always add you to my family pass, so you can give it a go. But yeah, no, I'd be keen to play it. Like, I think it'd be fun to. I honestly haven't played Mario Kart 8, I think, on my Switch either with other people, so we could try and give it a go if the Nintendo Online decides to actually work. But yeah, I'll give it a go, at least solo.
And finally,
just one more thing on that. Yep. There's 48 tracks. One of these has to be Waluigi Pinball.
That'd be so good.
That is probably one of the better levels, though.
Waluigi may not make it to Smash, but by God, is he going to live on in Mario Kart 8?
In Mario Kart 8 Ultimate.
God, he needs to do a crotch chop, by the way, in the soccer game, like he did in the GameCube once.
Yeah, we'll have to see if you're right about that. But the last thing on the docket, the last thing from Direct that we're going to discuss is Xenoblade Chronicles 3, coming September. Now, this was interesting.
The moment this trailer came out, I just yelled in our group chat, this looks better than Pokemon Arceus. Weird. It looks so pretty.
You ruined
It
what was a
looks so
good
pretty
reveal
for
by
a
going,
Switch
look at
game."
this bad game.
Yeah. And
Keen
it
butt.
destroyed me on the inside as a result because I went back and looked at Arceus and went, shit, you know what? He's
Yeah.
right.
It even looks better than Rise though. Like this game looks amazing for if it looks like what they're showing it as. I don't know how they're going to run it on the Switch. It looks excellent.
True.
Yeah, especially with a September release, and we don't know if there's another Switch model coming out. Like, this could have been a launch game for another Switch model, and I would believe it.
Yeah, I would believe it as well. It looks excellent. I don't know how they're going to do it, but we'll see.
But yeah,
excitement.
Xenoblade Chronicles.
Yeah, excitement for
I'm
3.
I'm very excited about this. I've only played Xenoblade Chronicles 1. I haven't played the updated version on Switch yet, but I will. This has got me in the mood to actually go through and play those in preparation for this, which is a stupid thing to say because those are 100-hour long games, and I'll probably have to exclusively play those 2 games to make it in time for this game's launch.
Yeah,
I'll play
they're
with you.
so fucking big. Like, get started now, and it'll be anything you do. Like,
Yeah.
so big.
We were talking a couple of weeks ago about how I'd started Xenoverse 1, and I'm like, oh, I'm like 15 hours in, and I think I'm almost on the tutorial.
Yeah.
They're beefy games. I need to keep playing them as well, so we can talk about them, hype up each other.
The interesting thing about this though is that so Xenoblade 1 and Xenoblade 2 were different worlds, and Xenoblade 3 seems to be clashing those 2 worlds together.
Yeah, there's been multiple images I've seen of people pointing things out, like I forget its name, but the guy holding the sword, and then there's the thing that blocks your way in number 2, and then the sword being like through this, like, I guess, corpse in number 3. So it's like, it seems like it actually connects the worlds together, which is really cool.
I think it's the sword from 2 through the chest of the Mechonis from 1.
It looks fantastic.
Which is
like,
pretty
yeah,
cool.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm keen.
I'm also excited to reveal that the main character is the most JRPG McSword guy character there's ever been. He's the combination of like the SMT4 protagonist, Dante, Travis Touchdown, the Persona 2 protagonist, just anything you could combine into this to make the most JRPG character you could ever make.
It looks like very cyberpunky as well, which, oh my god, it's so good. The art style looks incredible. I'm very keen for it.
Also, people are speculating that the 2 characters wearing masks are Melia and Naya from Xenoblade 1 and Xenoblade 2, which will be great if they're somehow antagonists in the game.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me as well. And maybe it's because the weird English voice acting that they use. Everyone's got a British accent. They sort of sound a little bit similar. But that's just probably me not playing Xenoblade 2 for a while and getting a bit confused. They all sort of blend into one after 80 or so hours. But yeah, very keen. I'm definitely awake for this.
All right, cool. All up impressions on Direct out of 10, Steve?
Oh no, you made me. All right, well, I fucking hated it. All it was is just remakes and ports or remasters with like one new game announced, or a couple of new games announced, but like what's dropped, the Mario Strikers and Xenoblade. Everything else you already
and Kirby.
knew. Everything else is just a remake, a remaster. Where's the original ideas? It's just sort of like there's nothing new anymore.
What do you mean?
these
They
days.
announced Mario Kart 9. Ah, fuck, sorry.
Yeah, see, exactly. Even with that, even with the DLC they're doing,
How
it's like,
dare
oh,
you
it's the old stuff,
disrespect
but
Kirby like
you
this,
can do it
man.
now.
I don't agree with that. I think they sprinkled enough new stuff in there, and just updating on stuff that they already announced was going to be happening.
Yeah.
So
Okay, so hang on.
Yeah.
Let me rephrase it then. So it might be new to us, but the games are all old. Like it's games that came out 15, 20, 25 years ago. There's like no original.
I don't even mean those. I think like the Free Hopes coming up was a brand new thing. Mario Strikers was brand new. Splatoon 3 is just updating us on something that we know is coming this year, even though we knew about it before, but we haven't heard about it in a long time. Same with Kirby.
MLB, no.
Yeah.
And
Taiko no Tatsujin as well.
And
is in
then
there.
we capped off with Xenoblade.
Yeah. And Nintendo Switch Sports. So that's 6. And how many games are actually spoken about? There's like what, 15 in total?
Something like that, which is
Yeah.
about like, I think that's a fair batting average.
MLB
So we're still talking
reference.
about MLB.
Yeah.
No, it's just all old. Like there's just nothing new. Or,
And what
okay,
I've
there are a
done-
few things new. It didn't push it over the line. And are we actually getting to the point where we're actually reviewing a bunch of game announcements? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, hate it. I hate it. This says a lot about our society, and I hate it.
Fair
Score
enough.
out of 10.
It's like a 2. And I hate reviewing these announcement things as well.
Wow.
Let it be shown on the record.
Man,
It's
what a shit
literally
opinion.
It's just a bunch of trailers. Like,
He did sleep through a lot of this.
What a Josh take.
What a Josh take. I agree.
This is actually a Wooly take, which only one other person will get when I tell them about that.
Literally, I get it, and I don't want to. Okay, so I think from my perspective, I mean, to be honest, this is very heavily biased by Kirby. So probably maybe like a 7, I think, would be sort of a fair guess. There's enough new stuff to keep me interested. There's enough old stuff that is new to us because it's being ported for the first time. And there's the games that they chose to remake are well loved. So I really enjoyed this.
Yeah, so this direct was heavily geared towards me and my taste specifically because I enjoyed nearly everything that was announced here. I would have given it a 9 out of 10, but that Mother 3 bait was so strong I had to drop it down to
So
a
it's
7.
a 4. No, it's a 3 out of 10.
Yeah, it loses 3 points because Mother 3, so it's now a 6 out of 10.
Fair enough. I would also give it a 7. I actually got hyped seeing some of the trailers, and Direct, sort of, they've been a bit hit and miss. I'm less interested in the strategic remasters and remakes, but something like Live Alive did actually capture my attention. So 7 out of 10 from me. And that is the end of the Direct chat and the end of part 2. Now we have an audience question for this week. Bum-ba-da-bum-ba-da-bum-ba-da-bum-ba-da-bum. It is from Trinity, who asks, what's your favorite gaming...
Hi, Trin.
What's your favorite gaming moment or scene that uses a licensed song? Something like how Far Cry 4 opened with Should I Stay or Should I Go by The Clash. Has anyone thought about this that wants to share first?
I've had a bit of a think about this. The thing with me is that a lot of the more moments that stick with me, like from a game itself, is when it's a game OST that does it. But I'm going to give the most vanilla answer that Trinity will actually expect from me in saying that for me it's Simple and Clean's opening for Kingdom Hearts 1.
Is that technically a licensed song before it was in Kingdom Hearts?
It is. All of the Kingdom Hearts songs are licensed
But
songs.
I think she means, or what I take this as is, that exists outside of a game OST, and I don't think this did.
It does.
Prior to the game releasing?
I think it was a single before the game released.
Okay, I'll take that answer. I didn't know that. I thought it was produced for Kingdom Hearts.
If I don't go with that, it's probably
I'm looking on the Wikipedia.
No rest.
I'm looking at the Wikipedia page right now. No, it's free to play. Like, it's fair play. So if it was used as the theme song, but it did come out before that.
Yep. If I'm not using that, it's probably No Rest for the Wicked for Borderlands 1's opening.
Choice,
excellent,
Cage
yeah.
Elephant. That's such a good opening.
Yeah.
I'm just going to out Trinity because we were talking about this as well. Hers was the opening for Borderlands 2. I forget the name of the song, but that one was hers.
I forget it as well, but I remember that being really good. I think for me, there's a few scenes that really stick with me, but the ones that honestly mostly minor game OSTs as well, but licensed song, I think really heavily anything in Forza Horizon was just they're fucking
enough.
phenomenal. Like they always do it really well, and they time it to the songs. They're excellent. But in terms of a very specific song in a very specific game, I think probably Breaking Benjamin's Blow Me Away in Halo 4 was really good.
Halo 2.
Halo 2? I thought it was Halo 4.
No, it's Halo 2.
Why am I thinking Halo 4?
You even said Halo 2 the other day when we were first discussing
Yeah,
this
I
question
don't know
because
why
I thought everyone was going to have to... I thought everyone would have to think about this over the week.
Yeah, no, I don't know why I assumed Halo 4 just then. But yeah, no, that was an excellent piece of music in general. So yeah, I'm keen. Loved it.
Oh, and for me, this is going to be a very hot take, and I'm going to say it anyway. It's that cover that Florence and the Machine did of Stand By Me on Final Fantasy 15.
Nah, get out of
God,
here.
I knew it.
I'm kicking him from the call.
I actually really like that song.
See, it's so good. It's such a great song.
It's even worse for me because it replaced a game original song.
Well, game original song's probably shit. It was such
Somnus.
a perfect...
Somnus is such a fantastic track, and it was going to be the theme for that game, and I hate that Tabata replaced it.
Well, difference of
I
opinion
like
because
the
it's
Florence
so
and the
good.
Machine one.
It's so good. It fits the scene so better because as it's like the credits
better.
rolling and you're back with the boys pushing the car because it's a replay of the first scene. Oh,
It was the best part of that
Fantastic.
game when it hadn't started yet.
Fantastic. Oh,
Nah, that's it. We're not having Steve on next week. I can't stand this man and his Final Fantasy 15 takes. Literal Josh opinions.
such a great game. When is
What
that
about you,
I
being-
love how
When is that coming
we're
to Switch?
insulting one host of the podcast via another host of the podcast.
What
That's
about
such a
you,
Josh move, Seth. Jesus Christ.
Fuck, man. I'm not asking again.
So what's your favorite, Pat?
The song that you guys are thinking of, the start of Borderlands 2, which would have been up there for me, is Short Change Hero by The Heavy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
And they also did the ending
That
song
was
for
also a
Borderlands 2
fantastic one.
with How You Like Me Now, although I liked that one less than the start, just my personal opinion. So I'm split either between Short Change Hero, The Heavy for the start of Borderlands 2. I also really liked Cage the Elephant at the start of Borderlands 1. I think just because of the amount of hours I put in Borderlands 2, I think I've heard The Heavy more and like that. But otherwise, it would be the start of Horizon 4, where even just on the title music, it's moment... it's Odessa... it's moment something. I have to look this up quickly.
It's a moment apart. Yeah, a moment apart.
Yeah, A Moment Apart. So Odessa is one of my favorite artists, just in general, and for them to play my favorite song from that album as the starting track for Horizon 4, I was sold immediately. Like, just booting it, it was like, damn. The game can only go downhill from here because that's such a high point to start. So that'd be
somehow
me.
didn't.
And the game didn't go down.
I want to twist this question's arm a little bit and go into game OSTs real quick. And there's two I want to point out. The first one is I really love the Red Apple Fell scene from Gravity Rush 2. And I just want to point out that the entire Metal Gear Rising soundtrack when it comes to boss fights are fantastic.
Are we going to
Metal
pick
Gear
a
Rising.
favorite
That's
OST
a
then
shame
as well?
that game didn't get more love. Like, why is there a sequel? Why hasn't it been ported to next-gen consoles? That would look really good with a fresh kind of paint on it.
Do we?
God, I've been so upset about Metal Gear Rising 2 because people have been pointing out something again, but that's a discussion for another time.
Do we want to very quickly choose a favorite OST since you've mentioned it and twisted it?
Don't make me choose.
I'm just going specifically with moments, like the Rules of Nature thing is fantastic. All the boss fight stuff for Metal Gear Rising is great, and that one particular scene from Gravity Rush 2 where Cat has to sing is one of the best ones in gaming to me.
Okay, well, we can save it for another week. We can choose a favorite moment for OST. Yeah, I guess that's it.
What, did you not have one to contribute, Josh?
Well, I can talk about a favorite OST, but obviously as a moment, for a favorite game OST moment, I think honestly it would have to be, I can't remember the name of the track, but the first time that you walk into the near civilization, like sort of the camp there in Automata.
That's a good one.
That was so atmospheric and suited the moment so perfectly that I fell in love with the game. That entire OST is amazing, but that moment in particular sold me on that game.
There's something I'd mention from Near Replicant, but I can't because it's a massive spoiler.
It's not
But
old enough to spoil
if
yet.
you know, you know.
Do you guys have a favorite OST moment?
Yeah, I do. One of the most emotional moments I have in gaming. Whew, big onus. I mentioned in an earlier episode that I played through Mass Effect 2 and then 3, and then I went back to 1 once it came out via the Legendary Edition. And one of my favorite songs from Mass Effect in general, on the album that I had it was called Sounds of the Universe. And that was what it was called in the Mass Effect 2 soundtrack, I think. Even though I can't actually remember where it was used in Mass Effect 2. But it's also known as the title music for Mass Effect 1 and also known as Vigil, at least in the game soundtrack. And so, for me, one of the most emotional moments, mostly resting on the back of that piece of music, is when you meet Vigil in Mass Effect 1. And I don't know. I don't really know. I can't put my finger on why that moment is so emotional, but that hits me every time. And I've played through Mass Effect 1 multiple times since, And every time you get to that vigil moment and you learn about the fate of the Proteans and everything else, that combined with the song, like the soundtrack choice and how it was my favorite piece of music from the Mass Effect series, and then to have that as the title music for Mass Effect 1, whole thing ties it together. Favorite soundtrack-based moment in gaming for me. Easy.
High praise.
Very high praise.
It was a good moment.
Steve?
Oh god, don't fucking make me pick.
Just pick one of them. You don't have to say the peak.
Yeah. Oh,
It's the Wii menu music, isn't it?
the Wii Shop
The
channel.
cursed one where it just doesn't ever drop.
Boom,
Oh, that's
boom,
that
boom,
shit.
boom, boom, boom,
Um,
boom,
The
boom.
the Gen 2 champion theme, but it never hits the real beat.
That's so cursed. I can't stand
Yeah.
that one. Oh my god.
Or special shout out to Final Destination, but to the Wii to the Wii Shop music.
I need to hear that one.
Oh god, I haven't heard that, but that sounds awful.
It's just like, you know that someone's gonna die, but you don't know when it's gonna happen, and it's just got that little, it's just got that loop going. It's so good.
Going back to licensed songs, any Space Jam remix.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I
I'll
can
take
agree.
There.
Yeah, but in
cool.
terms
I
of
think Oh, sorry.
OSTs, I don't know. The Undertale one's fantastic. Final Fantasy, all the Final Fantasies.
Well, do you have a specific moment in a game though?
I don't know. The final boss fight with Sephiroth in Final Fantasy VII, when it's got that big orchestral soundtrack.
One Winged Angel.
Yeah,
I really
One-Winged
like
Angel.
One Winged
Yeah,
Angels
it's-
used in Kingdom Hearts 1, actually.
Yeah, it's really good.
That was
in that
used
as
really well there.
Just so many. I don't think I could even pick a top 10, let alone a top more. Like even the crescendo that plays when you're pulling out the Master Sword in the Ocarina of Time. Oh yeah, don't make me choose.
Have you played the remake, Steve, of Final Fantasy
I
7?
have not. No.
Okay. They use Genova quickening very well in that game.
Ooh.
It's a top moment.
Yeah, because man, that's such a great soundtrack. Even the Mass Effect and Dragon Age Origin soundtracks are fantastic. Many.
Do you have one, Seth, so that we can, I guess, wrap this up?
I already did mine earlier.
for the
It was
OST, man.
it was
It
the
was,
Gravity
yeah,
Rush 2.
Gravity
Oh, the Gravity
2.
Rush,
Gravity
yeah, that's
Rush
right.
2 and Metal Gear Rising.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Sweet. Well, hope that answers your question, Trinity. If anyone out there listening would like us to answer a question or just tell Josh why he's wrong, they can reach out to us either on Twitter at Fast Travel Lounge minus one of the L's in the middle, so Fast Travel Lounge, as I say, minus an L. Facebook at Fast Travel Lounge with both L's, or email fasttravellounge@gmail.com. And with that, we come to the end of episode 11. I realize this one might be a bit longer because of the direct, but hopefully you enjoyed. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you again at the Fast Travel Lounge next week. Goodbye.